Greetings, you lovely amalgams of flesh, and welcome back to Stellaris with me, Elathrix, and of course, welcome to the last full playthrough of the Gigastructural Engineering mod for some time, where today we're going to be testing out two separate things. The first of which is, once again, we are going to be force spawning in the Katzen to try and fight them, but this time we will be using the new mechanics to undermine them from within and basically incite some rebellion. The second thing I want to test out is going down the genetic route within the mod in order to spawn in our own personal Scourge legions. And if we're lucky and we find some Leviathans, we can even spawn and create our own dragon hordes, our own little matriarch hordes. It's gonna be kind of insane. That is to say, the space whale matriarch. You can build a lot of very scary biological ships if you go down this route. To achieve this, we are playing as the Fleshcrafter Federation, an empire founded on a ruined interstellar ringworld, which was once used as a research ringworld for a now long extinct empire. This empire managed to find somehow proof that the Scourge existed and tried to use this ringworld to conduct experiments to figure out what the Scourge would be like if they ever were to reach our galaxy. Now, this empire has long since been extinct and the data long since corrupted, and our Fleshcrafters haven't quite fully understood what this old writing was all about, and instead see the Scourge as a godlike figure, as the peak perfection of genetics. They wish to become the Scourge. The Scourge will unite the galaxy as one. Every organic should be changed to better serve the collective, even if they're not hive minds themselves. So because of this, this empire is very flesh-loving. It's going to be very much against any machine empire trying to destroy them at all costs. They are a corruption of life. They are going to love hive minds and probably try to control all other normal organic empires to make them perfect, like their creepy selves. I kept on changing my mind on how I wanted the ethics and the civics to work out, but this is how I've ended up with things. So we are xenophobic almost purely because this is the only way to have other species as livestock. Livestock are going to be a big thing for this empire because we're going down the genetic route. We can make them delicious and nerve stable and everything else, and I want to go down the route of catalytic processing, turning food into alloys, turning other species into the flesh of our Scourge. You see how it all fits in the theme. We are reanimators since we are going to be hunting down Leviathans anyway. We have the guilds because we're going to have lots of owned populations. I kept on changing my mind with spiritualists though. Spiritualists or materialists, I think they both work out perfectly for the theme of this empire, since they are seeing the precursor civilization and the Scourge as basically almost a deity kind of figure, but at the same time they're using tech to get everything they want. You could see either of them. I'm going with spiritualists for now. I think it's probably the best since we are going to need lots of ascensions, so yep, we are going to need that. And then authoritarian obviously just makes everything easier to control the aliens. Also allows us to actually, can you have, no yet, to have the guilds you need to be authoritarian, so this is what I've ended up with. I kind of wish I was Xenophile because you can get loads of trade value from this ringworld origin. We are going with the Interstellar Dwellers, which is probably my favourite not completely broken origin within Gigastructures, because it just has a really nice start. You essentially have 3 colonies in your initial system, which you can instantly colonise, but you don't have guaranteed worlds, and it's not as insane as, let's say, the Birch world. So powerful, but not as broken as some of the others. As for our traits, we are budding, because we're going to have loads of species, and since we're going to have clone vats, I'm going to have lots of worlds where we have livestock, and then we just have this species growing secondary by being cloned, and budding helps that. We are intelligent, we grew up on a research ring, we are traditional, non-adaptive, and sedentary. We're going to need other species to do a lot of the work outside of the ring worlds, as we rule from this one. So with that, let's get going. So a few changes to the usual. We are going with scaling difficulty just because I find it more fun, honestly, and for this last playthrough I want it to be fun. With crisis type, I will be forcing the contingency. I normally don't like doing this because I don't like knowing which of the crises is going to spawn because you can start building towards that, but this just fits the theme so well. The contingency will spawn, the broken god will be there to try and kill us, and our lovely Sarkic religion will fight them off. In terms of difficulty, of course, Grand Admiral and scaling is on as I just mentioned. Everything else is as it usually is, except for mid-game is slightly later, because the Katzen are utterly ridiculous, and they are essentially an endgame crisis all by themselves. I've done some tests, and honestly, I don't think having it any earlier increases the odds of them definitely surviving, because it all depends on what empire spawns around their territory. If the Katzen spawn with the Purifier species, they're gonna be removed long before they can awaken. That also goes for hive minds and everything else. If it's a xenophile or a pacifist, they'll definitely survive. I've just noticed it's always the same, so still early, but not as insanely early as usual. Everything else is as it should be, and so we go into the galaxy. I'll probably be skipping a bit more than usual because we have done a lot of these full playthroughs lately, focusing mostly on the stuff specific to this empire and, of course, the Katzen. I am really looking forward to this. That's so pretty. And so we begin. Hey everyone, and as is tradition with these full playthroughs, it's me, Future Lathrix. Before I say anything else, there's a few things I need to cover about this full playthrough. It is now, officially, after double checking, the longest full playthrough I've ever done in terms of sheer recording volume, over 70 hours of footage, somehow, and it took me over 2 weeks to put together. That was utterly crazy. This full playthrough, especially the end, is so bizarre, and so many things happen. This mod is just not what I expected sometimes when it comes to stuff like this. It was really enjoyable. Now, I do have to say that sadly, past Lathrix being the dum-dum here, didn't realise that the Katzen will actually spawn after that mid-game point, because I was thinking about the endgame crisis when it can spawn, and that's just when the event starts. The Katzen do spawn a little bit late in this, so they're not shown off to their full extreme, but we do get to do every single one of the new mechanics, except for one, so we get to see the Katzen in their entirety, really. Now, the endgame crisis. Wow, it turns out that the contingency are very, very good versus Scourge. Who would have thought? So it was actually a lot more difficult than expected, and the fights, well, it turns out you can have like 15,000 fleet size worth of Scourge. And a lot of other stuff. So definitely worth watching until the end. This is one of those full playthroughs I will say watch until the end. Definitely worth it. Future Lathrix here. Future Lathrix is rambling too much. So, if you do enjoy these videos, likes and comments really, really help, because these videos can be poison for the algorithm, especially very long ones like this one is likely going to be. But if you are interacting, it actually becomes good for the channel, and I can continue to make these, which I love creating, but can only create once every week or two because of the immense effort involved. If you interact, I can do more, and that helps out me, and hopefully helps out people who actually like the video. So, now, into the video. Trust me, the end is crazy. And so the Fleshcrafter Federation begins, close to the center of the galaxy. So, what is our goals then straight away? Well, ultimately, we are really good in the early game, especially with scaling difficulty. That is kind of our thing. We have the 3 ring world sections here, which we're going to be able to inhabit very quickly. We have our main world here, and we have the potential for lots of alloys and lots of basic resources in the form of trade value very quickly. I don't think it's the strongest origin later on. I don't think this empire is particularly strong later on, but early game, we're very good. We are then authoritarian, giving us more influence, and we are xenophobe, making it a little bit cheaper to grab other systems. Lots of expansion very quickly, but what we really need is to find another species to either conquer in the form of another empire, or a primitive to uplift to conquer. We need other species because our species doesn't really do things on worlds very well. Minus 10% habitability and then only a base 40% habitability everywhere. It's pretty useless, so we need other empires to manipulate. Now, as for the settings, unlimited megastructures, we're not going with the blockers today. The Katzen need to be guaranteed. This means as long as their moon is not destroyed, we will see them. This is the main bit of this empire, but of course, even if we don't see the Katzen, which I'm really hoping we do, we still get to play around with the Leviathan creation. If we find any Leviathans to kill, we get to make Scourge, and we get to see just how good that kind of weird biological build is versus things like the empowered Fallen Empires, and potentially, who knows what's in the core of the galaxy. We'll see when we get there. I am tempted to allow unlimited of the vanilla structures, maybe? I don't think so. Although, honestly, these aren't much more powerful. I mean, some of them would stack weirdly, like the art installation giving amenities and interstellar assembly giving diplomatic weight, but they're not much more powerful than the stuff you get from Gigastructure anyway. Some of them are much weaker, but I think I'll just leave it as it is for balance. So there's not much more else to say. Our ring world is, of course, the ruins of what was once a research facility to analyze the Scourge threat, now a monument to the Scourge benevolence. We do, however, get exploration bays, which are pretty nice, giving scavenger jobs, which give minerals, research, and alloys at the cost of energy, but for now, we'll probably just focus on the 4 normal districts: housing, trade, research, and industrial. Like I said, first of all, expansion is key. We need to grab as much as possible, so I'll be right back once something interesting happens. Oh, that is beautiful. We found a Leviathan. Please be... Okay, I was going to say please be the matriarch, because I found it more interesting, but that's fine. We have the dragon. Now, we have to kill the dragon in order to make more of the dragon, and I think the dragon's on the list. Oh, actually, I don't know. No, I know it is, because we also have the Star Devourer. It's the Star Devourer, the Wraith, the matriarch, the Draggy Boy, and I think there might be another one, but I can't remember it right now. Either way, the fact that that's there, I don't even care if I find a primitive or another empire quickly. That's made me happy. Plus, we have a Gaia world. We have the lovely world there, which the caretakers are taking care of, which is actually a good research world. You know what? We've had a good start, because I noticed something which I really didn't like, and that's that we have interstellar research segments, which are different to what I thought they were, in that they don't give just normal researchers, they give interstellar researchers, which don't give much society. Normally that's great, but we need loads of society tech, including a few rare techs, in order to do what I want to do, so I need research worlds. I didn't want to have research worlds, I was hoping all the tech could be done on the ring world, but you know what? This will work out too. And can one of you please go ahead and do that?
A study.
So our empire is all about the almost worship. In fact, it is basically the worship of organic life and the manipulation of organic life to create the ultimate species, which will almost ascend into a godhood state. Things like the Scourge would be a deity to this empire. Though maybe not in the more traditional kind of faith way, I still see it, that's how this empire is functioning, that's why it is spiritual. So I think this makes complete sense. I've gone down the route of consecrating worlds, because perhaps worlds will have some kind of life form on them, which we revere. So we wouldn't be allowed to inhabit this world because it would disrupt that ecosystem in some way. Oh, one off the best. The best is a holy world, but venerated world works as well. This will give us a bonus to unity, amenities, and spiritualist ethics extraction. Because I am going to go quite unity heavy, because we do need a lot of ascensions, whilst also going tech heavy. Basically, the first 3 ascensions are going to be consecrated worlds, 1 vision, technological ascendancy, since we do need the rare text. And after that, we need 2 for the genetic components. Then I'm thinking we turn all worlds into Gaia worlds. We probably don't focus as much on the megastructure element as much as the other runs have. Galactic Wonders possibly, and Master Builders. I think the Big Vats are a Galactic Wonder level, they're not Gigastructure level. I'm hoping. We'll see though, I'll find out before I end up picking the Ascension perks to not cause problems. We are out of influence, that's really annoying, since I want the second world to turn into a holy world. More influence, thank you very much. We're not allowing our people to see any other faith than the faith we agree with. Where do I want the influence to be spent? I guess really probably just jumping to that other world so I can get the other thing up and running nice and easily. Another thing this is going to fix though is the amount of amenities I'm producing. It's going to be fantastic because consecrated worlds just gives us more amenities. 1 vision is less usage. Combined is really good because of the worlds where I have lots of owned pops. Anything to give me stability would be really lovely. And making the rulers of those worlds, which will be the main species, happy is one way to do that. The game loves me. Okay, we have a savannah world here. A lot of population, we're going to need some ground forces, but that is beautiful. Oh, and there's an arid world next to it. Don't know what's better, to have straight away an owned population world, or to have all 3 of our holy worlds up and running. Probably all 3 holy worlds, just to make everything a little bit more efficient, but yeah. Also, this first world will just be a world where we have indentured servitude enacted. I do want livestock worlds later, because I want to turn food into ships, because that's the whole point of this empire. But I need the genetic tailoring first, because I want a mix of those world types, so I need subspecies. If that makes sense. Does it make sense? I don't know. Oh good, it's not fully in the way. I was a little bit sad there, but nope, it's kind of in the corner. So we do have the enigmatic fortress as well. Not particularly useful for our empire, but something to go for later, I guess. And we have our Gaia world. Yep, this will be our tech or Unity world. One of the two. Oh, that's going to be more fun. We just reanimated a giant skeleton, which I'm going to assume is actually a giant zombie to better fit our themes. So we're just going to send a single thing. Ooh, influence, please. In order to get this lovely population. And there's another world here, so I kind of wish I didn't spend my Unity making this into a venerated world, when there's a world here, which would be our new third one. So that way we can have 2 worlds straight away, and that is all well and good. Now if we get lucky, we might even reanimate some of these forces into undead armies of our own. We are not getting lucky. Oh, come on, just one. Give me one little skelly boy. Nope. And total victory, but sadly we didn't get any extra minions. It's just something that can happen if you are the reanimators. Now, we need to sort out this world, because this world's going to be a mess for a while. So we need some rulers, so straight away let's send over 2 of our flesh crafters to act as the rulers of this planet, and then we're going to turn these into owned populations, but they already are that, so indentured servitude, decent conditions, no, we'll change that once the, no, we'll just do it now, otherwise I'll forget. Colonization allowed, migration forbidden. That's how we're going to have that. I'll also set that to default rights in a second. We need to give them loads of jobs. So now you can be colonized. Then once I have the genetic tailoring, I'll turn it into a food world. So I have 3 venerated at the moment. Isn't it worth the risk to try and get more holy? Well, at the moment, it's giving us plus 18% unity. I know it's plus 25% if you get 3 holy worlds. More amenities would be good. Maybe later, once I have more unity to play with. I wonder how much political power livestock have. I imagine much, much lower, if any. But, yeah, indentured servitude is a little bit harder to fully control. Though, to be fair, only 2 rulers, and that's already enough to get the approval rating average to 50%, even though it's only 2 of those, and 29 of the owned population. Yay for the facilities. Still lots to do, though. I really want to find one more world so I can grab this savannah. You know what I should have done? I should have removed the holiness of this world instead of this world. Well, too late. We'll find another world eventually. I'm not here to think. I was kind of hoping that we wouldn't run into an enemy this quickly because I had enough alloys for my first megastructure. That would be either the macro engineering site, the... I can't even remember what the society one is called because I never built it. The ecosystem thing? Or the stellar particle accelerator. Yep, all the names I forgot then. But no, we found someone who instantly upon finding us vivisected our poor science crew. So, yeah, we don't really like them very much. They want to vivisect us, we probably want to vivisect them. That's not a nice way to start a friendship. So, building up a fleet. Also, speaking about the fleet, you may notice that the name's weird, and also if you look at our leaders, the name's weird there as well. Motile organs. I was originally going to do this with a hive mind. And I forgot to rename, I just completely forgot to rename the naming system. So, yep, we're all just called organs. I mean, makes sense to me. Aren't we all just organs in the galactic consciousness of life? So we just gave them back some of their wreckage to give us influence, and that influence is then instantly used to claim their homeworld. I don't know how strong they are, but this early in the game, with scaling difficulty, I think we're at least going to be able to make a dent in them. Our start has been fantastic, to be perfectly honest, and I do think that with maybe just a couple more Corvettes, we might be able to just take out that homeworld. If we can take their homeworld, a good start becomes a god tier start. then eventually we can have widow dragons. Oh, now this is actually surprisingly difficult because it seems obvious we should do the event. It'll give us potentially lots of extra research speed. Or just a little tech. Or a permanent plus 5% happiness to all of my worlds and all of my populations. That is a lot of stability, which is good, considering, again, stability is going to be a problem, because, well, owned populations are going to make the majority of our populations eventually. We could see it as a instrument of whoever created the ring world. I don't know if that's good or not, though. On the food worlds, the happiness of the livestock is almost always going to be about 0. Right now, we have 30% happiness on our indentured servitude populations, then 80 on our main ones, and this will increase both, of course. So we're at 62% stability right now. I really hope this is the right choice. 65, so it's a 3% increase. It will make things easier later on. I don't know if that was the right choice, honestly. I think that may have been the wrong choice. We've now split that species into 2. Sadly, we couldn't add the bonus food just yet. We'll do that once we get the next Ascension perk. This will turn them into livestock. And now we can check if that has any political power at all. Very little. Very, very little. And this, of course, is before we add the processing facility. So they're currently giving 6 food each with a reduced housing. That's going to be the only population which grows on this world, except for the slow natural cloning of our main species, which I am going to have to start building now, some clone vats, which are going to be super expensive. Oh wait, no, that's what I get with the next Ascension perk. That's what I was waiting. It was too expensive. Again, my brain not here today. They did fight back. They had a 2k fleet, which was actually a little bit surprising. I thought they'd be a little bit weaker after the war and everything, but they almost matched me. Thankfully, we have more. So, we would have won anyway, but yeah. I was saying that, maybe I wouldn't have won. I mean, they have 2k now. Who knows how much they had before the war?
Construction venture completed. The station is under attack.
Okay, we'll definitely have the ground force. Oh, yep, here's another fleet. If they didn't separate their fleets, they may have took me out. Yeah, I'm only 2.5k now. Well, that's, of course, after losing some to their 2.5k, but still. Or is that the same one that's resurrected? Maybe. Maybe I shouldn't leave. Oh, well, they gave up anyway, so all's well and good. That's a really weird system name. And now we have this. We could turn you into food. You have multiple species. You have serviles. Oh, be praised, serviles. That is glorious. Plus 10% from jobs, can't be ruler or specialist. Obviously, you don't care about that. You are one of the ultimate food supplies. You have zombies. Ah, what do I do with the zombie? Okay, this is going to be really weird sorting out this world. So there's an issue currently. Here we are, here's an example. So this one here is at only 18% happiness, and this is because of minus 40% from very low faction approval. They are a member of the authoritarian coalition faction, which is happy, and a very fun number of happiness. But for some reason, everyone who's currently a member of this federation is just very upset with me. I don't know what's happened. That shouldn't be the case. The faction is happy. They should be getting a happiness increase. I had to restart the game, but it's fixed the problem. They're now at 63% happiness, and the stability has once again skyrocketed because all of those populations who are a member of that faction are now once again actually happy. I don't think I've ever had that bug before. That was really bizarre. So I still haven't found our lovely Katzen Empire's starting location, but our neighbours, it turns out, are in fact fanatic purifiers, which is making me really worried. Haven't found any hive minds yet, though. Okay, you're pacifist. What are you? Oh, hello! Never mind. Never mind. This is it. This is always attached to the system. Right there. Right there is where the Katzen are going to spawn, and they've spawned in the territory of the pacifist. They are going to live. Okay. Really happy with that. Unless... Can they still do the event to stop them? I never see that happen. Can I stop you by any chance? I think they'll be okay. Our Imperial cruisers are now taking over control of our neighbour. This will give us loads of menace points over time, which means we can get all of our lovely crisis bonuses a lot faster. Glorious Scourge perfection is on its way. The more I look at this species, the more I can't decide if it's cute or really, really creepy, or a little weird mix of both. It could so easily go either way. No, the movement isn't helping your case. Get back. Thank you. In comparison to my main species, which are just utterly adorable, look at his little face. And kind of like back fuzz and extra arms everywhere. I wonder if his legs, or is he being supported by these back two sections, which are almost wing-like? It's almost angelic in a really horrific way, and I kind of love this. The more I look at this one, the more I like. Also, I thought it was a fungus until just now, which I've realised it's a plant. So that's good. Sorry, weird ramble. It's getting light already, and I am losing my mind quickly today. I have never seen the Galactic Council get together so well, and yeah, they've managed to pass Reverence of Life. That is such a lighter... Am I correct in thinking that's quite light? Oh, it's only a third. Even so, I have never seen this one pop up. In all the gameplay I've ever done of this, of all the playthroughs, I've never seen this one. Is there any punishments currently for being in breach of the Galactic law? Because if we say we will not submit, we get 1000 unity. But couldn't I just get that and then change it later? I mean, I'd like the month of unity. Ah, modifier. No. How do you I actually don't know how to check if there are many sanctions. I don't think there are any sanctions yet, so I am not going to submit. I will change later. Also, we are Legion. So now we are rank 2 in our crisis. That's from just holding this vassal. Every year we get a small amount of points just from having the vassal in existence. The next level is the orbital bombardment one, and ship build speed. It is level 4. That's when we get the bonus damage. That's what we're aiming for. So we really do need to go to war with the Purifiers soon, the Punishers, just to get those points up. As usual, I'm just taking advantage of a situation here. Currently, the Punishers are both at war with the Principality and at war with the Commonalities over here. I think one attacked them and they attacked the other, but either way it's good for us because their forces are going to be super split up, and we can just go in and hopefully deal a killing blow. Now, you were originally going to back up these two, instead go over here. This is a bastion which is about to upgrade, and I'm now making my very first orbital ecosystem, my orbital artificial ecosystem, which is the society version of the mini megastructures, which also provide some passive benefits. In this case, they make terraforming cheaper, I want to say it was. I never build these. I think that's cheaper. Either way, it's good. If it's faster or cheaper, either way, it's really good. So, if we do go down the route of turning everything into Gaia worlds, having some of these will be helpful. But really, right now, we just need the society research. We are making way more physics and way more engineering than we are society. And I want my Scourge. And eventually, dragons. They have a 10k fleet, which is currently attacking the Commonalities. And I'm now realizing I'm actually weaker. I didn't have the intel on them, but I saw inferior tech, so I thought, oh, weaker. Forgetting Fanatic Purifier. They're kinda strong. So, I am really lucky they're currently under attack. I'm going to try my best to grab this world here and then make a break for that. We've got some archaeological sites and a new world over here for us to quickly send in the flesh crafters. So overall, even if we lose now, well not lose, even if we status quo now, it's fine. I have taken the station, I've done a couple of small fights like the one just then, thankfully in the station area, so we're okay.
Our construction is
Just need to be really careful and maybe sending the other fleet over here would be a better idea. Yeah, they have to get through several stations now, so yeah, let's send the fleet over here to try and guard ourselves. Envoys from the Galactic community have compiled a list of articles that the Fleshcrafter Federation are in violation of and warn of possible consequences should they not make ourselves in alignment with Galactic law. Should we change our policies? Or should we maybe execute the envoys? No, we're not that evil. Well, we are. We're absolutely brutal, but... well, I'm currently the strongest. Just about. Well, I guess I do have quite a few populations because I've stolen a capital. I mean, that's just funnier though, right? Yeah. Don't worry, I'm sure their flesh was used for something. Probably burgers. I didn't see the extra fleet, but apparently it wasn't the problem. Let's move you in there. Oh, since when was I losing volatile motes? Earlier I was losing crystals, but I didn't notice that swapped. Okay, sure. Probably shouldn't have bought all those, now I'm going to do an automatic trade, because now it's going to be super expensive for a while. But I am not very smart.
Planetary infestation begun.
Oh, if they end with the system, did they get the planet back? I think so, but it's going to be a good try because we're going to take their home system in response. If I status quo now... that was instant. It's never instant. Well, that's silly them because I'm definitely going to get that other world back and my fleet's been just obliterated, so let's sort out these worlds then. That's a major push against the Punishers. As you can see, the Principality, I think, have gained a bit of territory, and yeah, the commonalities have pretty much pushed them out entirely. Oh, that's an issue. If you continue to be at war, you're going to go through... no, I've got my borders closed to you. Ha, you can't claim all this territory. Just sort out your own territory first. The Bloodborne over here, which I've been calling the Bloodthorn in my head for the last, like, half an hour, are now right at our borders. I think there was something here in the way, but they must have destroyed it, which makes sense considering they are also a purifier. Well, purifiers to the left, purifiers to the right, we are really blocked in there. Now, we are beating them on tech, because our tech kind of exploded, but still... what do I even care about anyone? Let's put that there. I was originally going to try and befriend the fellows here, so we don't have to try and take out this station, but I really don't care right now, so instead I'm just going to upgrade the Starhold, make it into a bastion, so if they do attack us through there, we can just fight back. They are much bigger than the Punishers. Are they at war at the moment, or... no. We can declare rivalry, which is worrying because they are pathetic in tech and inferior in economy. That means all of that to make them our equivalent must be right there in their fleet power. So yeah, can all of my forces please back off? I'm going to try and get you all over to here as soon as possible. I'll make a small shipyard behind it so I can upgrade things because some of them are doing upgrades, and I'll attack the Bloodborne next. The ecosystem has been completed, so what does it actually do then? So it is terraforming speed. The macro engineering is now on its second stage as well, so that's lovely. This is as much as I can zoom in, that's kind of annoying. How about if I zoom in on the world? There we go, kind of. It's very difficult to see, but there we are. Cool. Well, this is a problem. They actually declared war on us, which further solidifies the fact they are probably stronger than us. Fleet-wide. No equivalent. Okay, well that's something to work with then if we can move our ships properly. Our tech's higher than theirs as well, so although they're going to have a lot of bonuses, we're probably still going to have stronger single ships, which does matter. Backing everything off to over here. They were just a little bit early to declare war. If they were just a few years later, I would have been in position. Well, that's beautiful. We now have large-scale bioatmospheric modification. This allows us to build the orchid complexes on gas worlds, which I will do as soon as I have the resources. I'm currently building other things already. How much does it cost to begin with? Oh, it's actually not that expensive to begin with. It gets very expensive later on, but, okay, I'll start that in a second. Really need to sort out my food problems, because I've gone so heavily now into alloys, suddenly my food is just not really keeping up. Now, of course, we do have our food worlds, which are constantly growing, so we are getting more and more food every year. It's just, yeah, this is why we need the orchid complex as well. We can eat all the organics here, all the sapient life, but we can also eat the life we can grow ourselves on the orchids. So there's no other way to get to us other than this point, isn't there? Okay, it's actually one further back. Just if we can get everything together. Now, we are integrating our subject, but that's not going to happen for a little while, so I doubt I can put down a bastion in time. We do have the bastion here to defend our main territory, but that's not really everything, obviously. We can now use advanced genetics. So, what do we want from our main food species? Well, we want them to be delicious. So that's a +2 food just base. Then plus 15% food from agrarium. Now, we could give them nerve stapled. This increases resources from jobs by 5% straight away. It also stops them from being affected by happiness. Of course, they are on 0% happiness being livestock. This will increase the stability of the world. But I don't think... Livestock seem to have little to no political power at all when the facility is built. So that's not really too much of a big deal. But at the same time, it is as plus 5% resources. But we could go with robust, giving them plus 30% habitability. And then all of the cold worlds they'll be perfect in. But then, of course, we are also going to change that soon into Gaia worlds. Well, not soon, but eventually. So maybe just fertile. Less housing usage and extra population growth. We get more of them. And then we just give them strong for another plus 2%. Maybe. Yeah, I've just been looking at the worlds. It's just, they add so little to the contribution to the world's stability as long as there's any of the main species there. I just don't think nerve stapled really helps out with this particular species. I think if we had any doing normal jobs like mining and energy production, I think that'd be more useful, but for this, yeah, we're just turning them into sheep. Okay, the first orchid site is starting to move forward. And I've started building some of these, finally. These horrible little things, which are the menacing corvettes. Very, very quick and very high damage, I think, more so than anything else. A bit like a normal corvette, but they're made of minerals. Since we're honestly just getting loads of spare minerals, I might as well make some of these to strengthen us up. The next thing we're going to attack is the Punishers again. I think probably a couple of fleets of these will be able to deal with them, because remember, we did take their home world. And we also took a lot of their, well, more populated worlds. I think we've only got a few worlds now above 50 pops. So we should be able to just run in there, crush this section here, and then take out the rest. Just need to make sure I've got enough ground forces to deal with it. My other ships are going to be staying here because the Bloodborne are now stronger than me, fleet-wise, after that war. And so I need to rebuild here. Rise again. After much work, our necromancers have filled the Ether Drake with energy again. The result is lurching and unnerving, but we will call this a success as long as the superheated dragon's breath still works. Where is it then? There. Whoa. 58k. Would love to be able to see what your weapons are, though, Ether Drake. But there we are. We have the dragon now. Ooh, and it comes with the ability to jump. Fantastic. Can we give it a leader? No, we can't. Okay, it's a shame. I'd have to make it even faster than it is already.
We have surveyed the system. Our construction is complete.
Even the Leviathans bend to our flesh shaping. So right now, I could definitely go to war with the Punishers and finish them off. They are in a really weakened state since our last war. They're basically gone. The Bloodborne are rapidly recuperating and actually threatening me a little bit, so I'm trying to make sure I have a good military presence over here. But here's the thing. This... Where is it? This is where the Katzen are going to spawn. Then they're going to start claiming territory of empires nearby. If I take on all the Punishers, then we're going to be a lot closer. So maybe we still attack the Punishers, but we only go... Ooh, how strong is that? Okay, not very strong. It hasn't been fully upgraded. We only go to maybe here. We leave them with some worlds. But the problem is then... this smaller empire might just give in to the Katzen. And this is silly, because obviously my empire wouldn't know about all this, but this is purely because I want to see the mechanics of the Katzen, and if we have to go to war with them too early, I won't get to see all the sabotage events and everything else. It just negates a lot of that, which obviously is the whole point of this video, along with eventually getting the Leviathans. Yeah, I think I'll just wait until our dragon gets there. Then the dragon and the menacing corvettes will just take over this section. It still leaves that world there, still leaves these two worlds. Hopefully their bastions are strong enough to deal with this empire so we don't end up fighting, and they can stay as our shield. Ooh, there's a fleet over... Oh, there's two fleets over there. Good job I noticed that in time. I could leave our dragon here. Would probably take them out. The only reason we won our fight was because our ships just countered the Ether Drake, I think. Okay, dragon, you cover our backside. Hopefully you'll be okay. Yeah, I think that'll be fine.
Technology conceived.
Once again, forcing peace just before we start losing stuff again. That's pretty much all I want to grab here. I even want to kind of grab, so I keep this pocket here potentially as a future vassal. But destroyed most of their large worlds again. We've got to see the dragon in action against some very small star bases, admittedly. I guess let's just keep our fleets here ready to go to war again. Same as over here. We should be safe now until the Katzen arrive. Just need to keep on focusing on building up stuff. Look how many alloys we've randomly got to stockpile. I'm not building enough because I'm also trying to save up Unity. Oh, that is perfect. That is actually insane. What? There can't be two, though, right? The Wraith is quite weak, but we can create the Wraith if it counts as us killing the Wraith. But how is there two? Looks like it's just because of our ethics, because there's slightly different options how to react to that. We're going to lose some systems here. Oh, we're going to have jellyfish. They're going to be our best friends. That's the one. Supply speed increase, please. With the Wraith gone, we get energy weapon damage, and physics research. That is lovely. I haven't seen the Wraith in so long. What a lovely timing for it. Thank you. Oh, it is now 2,300, which means the Katzen events are probably now underway. They'll be here soon. We need to make a lot more corvettes just to defend ourselves. I do feel like, because we have quite a large empire and somehow don't have gateway tech yet, I don't know how it's happened, but yep, no gateways at all. We're going to need very fast things, so our corvettes are definitely the right thing.
Conceived.
We have two 70k fleets now over here, made up of battleships, so, because I honestly just needed to spend my alloys. We have several of our menacing corvette fleets over here, then we have the dragon and everything. We're pretty good to go. I'm just awaiting the event to finally occur. I'm also slowly building a sentry array, so I can actually see what's going on, but that's going to take a while. We can now finally have Galactic Wonders because our very first Orchid Complex is complete. I know I say it every time, but I think it's still my favourite design of all the different megastructures. Weirdly, it's not these super-sized ones, which are my complete favourite, but when you see multiple of them in a system like this, all collecting the sun, it just looks so interesting. Maybe because it's moving and everything. But then I also love the asteroid manufacturing. We're actually really powerful. We spiked heavily once we got this extra bit of territory. Took us a while to get there, but yeah, we are really scaling well now. I'm just waiting for the Katzen. Oh dear. So this fallen empire is the stagnant ascendancy, disinterested gamers. This fallen empire is entirely focused on a colossal virtual entertainment complex hosted within a brain. That's it. They just play games. That's their entire existence. Lathrix is now realizing that's kind of his entire existence as well. Lathrix is confused. Lathrix is gonna go for a walk in a little while. Just 4 more months. Oh, do you not get to create the void spawn? Oh no, I think I must... Oh yeah, there we are, Blue Wraith. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, hurry up, I want to build them everywhere. Yes! Which system? We need a system just dedicated to these. I think this one in the middle of everything, kind of. I've been building too many things nearby. Nope, that's just asteroids. You are weird, nope. That's like our tech area. This is our... Yeah, both of those are tech. This one is our food. I guess... Yeah, this system then. So how expensive are they? I basically saw that these things existed and then decided not to ever build them until I did a video. I just know the basics of them, I think. Lovely. We actually don't need as much society research now, funnily enough. So it should be there now, right? Where are you? Oh, it's smaller. Did I not need a mega... Oh, I might have not even needed the megastructure ascension perk. It was a rare tech. I could have just got unlucky just because how low down it is, since it is in size order and then alphabetical order. Oh, well, either way, let's start building some. Our dragon legions are on their way. You too. Probably should be building so many at once. It's going to get more expensive after the first bit, but you know, I can't help myself. If you're going to do something, you may as well do it far too much and take away half the fun of it. I'm good at life advice. Well, this one I haven't seen before. Apparently one of our orchid complexes has become... Well, it's making hallucinogens. Naturally, the Orchid staff is raising a question on what to do with this peculiar harvest. We could let the mutations spread and then ship it to the rest of our empire for our population to enjoy, or attempt to curb it before it takes over the entire Orchid, while making sure to destroy any previous harvests which potentially bore the mutation. So distribute it, with heavy restrictions, minus 100 energy credits per month, extra society research, extra happiness, extra growth speed. That's actually pretty nice. This will cause instability if we are egalitarian. This will cause instability if we are authoritarian. And then just kind of sad. So the other one then is 20 years as well. Pop growth speed plus 10%, happiness plus 10%, plus 15% society research, minus 5 stability? Oh, I guess... No, then the unrest is an extra minus 5. Sorry, an extra minus 2 stability for 5 years. I mean, that's just not worth it because of the stability. It's all well and good, but no, yeah, this seems definitely worth it. Extra population growth, more society research for some more unity, which I desperately need at the moment. Heavy restrictions, but we are legalizing orchid complex plankton. Not the most catchy, I'm sure other names will pop up as it's being distributed. So the first phase is 2,375. Oh, and it's straight away into the first primary vat. Yeah, so from what I've seen, what I think it is you make the primary vat, and that can create the larger of the Leviathans. Then after that, you can make the secondary vats, which can just create the smaller. I'm not quite sure if the primary vat can also create the smaller. I'm assuming it can, but I honestly don't know. May have gone a bit overboard with how many of these I made. Need to save up some alloys. Aha, you are there. And you do have your attack moon. Okay, you are definitely getting ready. I misunderstood how fast you would spawn. I honestly thought you would be I thought the event would happen and they'd be ready to go at 2,300. I've definitely set them too late, and that's going to annoy me, and future Lathrix is going to make fun of me, and future Lathrix is mean! I can't help it that past Lathrix is so dumb. The Katzen Imperium are here. The Kaiser has awoken. Let's see how strong they are. Not as strong as I originally thought, but the moon is still 400k. So they're still very, very powerful. I just thought I'd have more of the regular fleets. So really, they're only a super threat to us right now because of the moon. But we've seen how fast that can scale. That gets to a stupid level. Plus, some of these craft have some really weird rules to them. Hello, Katzen. So eventually, I think we get access to other options, which will allow us to do all the espionage stuff. So we are going to send the diplomatic stuff though first, because we do want them to be happy with us. Because I believe how it works is some of the stuff we do to sabotage them, that will make them like us less. And if we go below -3 or whatever it is, they'll just declare war on us, and that's probably not what we really want. So we'll do that. And eventually, we can even buy some of their ships, which is pretty cool. Oh, straight away. Oh, I thought it'd be way later. You know what? I'm going to buy all the ships you've got, because your ships are really, really cool. Oh, it takes a while. Yay! But we still got +1 there. Fantastic. So the Kaiser is happy with us a little bit more than before. We are currently cordial. Where's that new ship? Oh, does it get to us in like a short while, not instantly? Is that how it works? It's been a while. Well, when I see it, I'll show it off. There we go. A battleship. It's more like a ship. It really is just more like a normal ship. The other ones are more interesting because you get like, the ones which look like planes, then the others which look like tanks. Here it is. Okay, let's see how it works. Which one got built first? There. So the Ether Drake for 10,000 food, 5,000 energy, and we have the Blue Wraith for far less. Then we have the Swarm Queens, the Swarm Warriors, the Swarm Brood Mothers, and the Swarmlings. Oh, I need to build a Wraith. You can build multiple? I wonder how long it takes to build them. Not as slow as I thought it'd be. You know what? I want a Jellyfish Horde. How high does this go up? 10. Then the other primary VAT, which I'm now struggling to say. I guess we should start building some normal Scourge forces as well. Oh, I'd love a Queen Legion. That'd be so many strike craft. So you have the Swarmlings. That'll be Missile and the Acid Blast, which I'm not sure if that's kinetic or energy. The Brood Mothers, you know what? Let's just build one of it. Oh, you can't stack all of them. I guess we need the other VATs for that. Okie dokes. Now, it may look like we don't have enough food to support this. I'm currently selling 3,000 food. So yes, we definitely have enough food to support all of this insanity. The energy reserves are going to be a problem, though, since our fleet cap has already been reached. I didn't think about sorting that out. Whoops. We have our Swarmlings. They're so teeny. Just teeny tiny. So they have, okay, yeah, the Acid Blast, oh, it is kinetic. Okay, so we really do need loads of engineering research. Obviously, they are mostly armor, and they have the large Scourge missiles, which are just really good missiles. Oh, they're so quick and so tiny. Yeah, you don't like us because we're the Crisis. I know, it keeps happening. Okay, can you please make the Swarm Warriors? And you're currently making a Brood Mother. I just want to see how they all work. I wonder if they're in the ship designer, actually, now I think about it. They are. Or at least the big ones are. Something tells me that's not correct. Yeah, if that's actually correct, I'm going to be really disappointed. Ah, I wish we had found the Void Spawn. I love the Void Spawns. Yeah, obviously that's not correct. Oh, I wonder if that happened. Oh, if you upgrade them, is that what's going to happen? It'll change them all to that, which would obviously be just completely worthless. Okay, so make sure never to press the upgrade button.
Technology.
Oh, why is he so tiny? Oh, that's so cute. Who's an angry little swarm boy? You're an angry little swarm boy. Let's have a look at you then. Okay, 650 terahertz emitters. Extra armor damage, less shield damage. Oh, that's not it's not the worst, but it's not a particularly good craft. Oh, why is it so small and why is it still not blue? Hello, friends. Hello, fellow Scourge. No, why is it so small? Okay, you know what? Let's cancel that. Let's cancel that. Let's make some ether drakes instead. They're much more expensive. They take a longer. Or they are glitchily fast. What just happened there? It keeps going to 30, then 6. 37. Okay. I'm hoping that isn't completely broken, because I want to see the dragon, especially if it's so tiny. Now, it's just so small. I'm sorry, but that is just weirdly funny to me after seeing the Wraith as this big threat. In the very early game, if it spawns too early, it can be such a big threat. And then just seeing it next to the Scourge. Oh, I'm way too tired. It's like 2 AM at this point. I am. Look at it. Past Lathrix then had to go to sleep at this point, and the next recording of actually reading that event is the next day. He wouldn't stop laughing. I have 10 minutes more footage of him just laughing to himself. Yeah. It has been several years since the Imperium entered the Galactic stage, and it undoubtedly appears to be an incredible foe, from the outside at least. Interestingly, recent diplomatic and espionage missions have revealed that most of the Imperium's population was content with the Kaiser's rule. Most, but not all. Indeed, Flusion is a diverse planet, which prior to being unified under the Kaiser, was home to at least a dozen different nations, each with their own distinct culture and way of life. Ooh, this is like try 5 reading this one paragraph. Most of them have either been erased or assimilated into the dominant Katzen culture, but there is still... No, damn it. Most of them have either been erased or assimilated into the dominant Katzen culture, but there still exists some isolated and rebellious holdouts comprised of rebellious species from Flusion and their descendants. These rebels adamantly defend their ancestral ways of life and cultures, and staunchly oppose the Kaiser's attempts at integrating them into Katzen society. We have managed to identify 2 somewhat significant resistance networks within the Imperium. The Solacane Freedom Fighters, made up of citizens from the nation formerly known as Sol, as well as the Order, comprised of them from the Empire on Flusion. Although their members are few and far between and currently pose little problem to the Kaiser, we have determined that secretly contacting either of them could potentially help us in our struggle to finally end the Katzen threat. Resistance will be an invaluable asset to weaken the Katzen Imperium. Issues special project, contact the Order, and contact the Freedom Fighters. My dyslexia just hit me in the face like a truck. After several months of covert operations, secret meetings, and shady deals, we have managed to officially establish contact with the head of the Order, once the ruler of the Escania Empire. I apologise for the pronunciation of these places and names. I'm going to be dreadful with it. Further studies have revealed that this order used to be a peacekeeping force in the Empire prior to its subjugation by the Kaiser's forces, and have since then acted as a sort of government in exile, coordinating the remaining Exicanian resistance against Katzen rule. Although they currently aren't a very potent force, all it might take is a little push for them to become something which actually threatens the Kaiser. They are therefore quite eager to communicate with us. Hello there. At last, the gods have blessed us, it seems. Greetings, spacefarers. My name is something, ruler of the Empire. Well, I was, until the wretched Kaiser took away everything from us. Our culture, our way of life, our great pastures. All which we once held dear has been swept away by his asinine tide of rampant militarism and industrialization. The number of us still loyal to us slowly dwindles every day as the Kaiser imposes his cult of personality upon billions of people. We shan't stand anymore. We hope that with your help, we might finally be able to overthrow this megalomaniac feline. And at last restore peace to Flusion and the galaxy. Voice does not match the face. Too bad. We hope so too. We can now secretly contact them from the Katzen Imperium menu. Ooh. It was us yesterday. It might be you tomorrow. Okay. trigger uprising. It is time. With the resistance at an all-time high, we may help them start an all-out rebellion against the Imperium. This will create a rebel empire within the Imperium, who will immediately declare war on the Katzens. Okay. But I guess that depends on their strength, which currently is negligible. Destroy depots. We can support the Order in a series of operations to strike at various Katzen supply depots, which will reduce the efficiency of Katzen ground troops. And this will impede their navy, striking at their power plants, but requires some more strength, so I guess... Oh. That's a lot, but we can afford it. Okay, you want to fight, but you don't have the weaponry and such. So if we give this, every year there's a 50% chance your strength will increase. Whenever resistance increases due to our actions, there is a 25% chance that the Kaiser finds out and decreases his opinion of us. I'm still going to give you everything. And then... yeah, then we are going to keep on buying his ships as much as we can, which will keep on increasing his love of us. So I'm just going to buy the expensive one, even though these two are more fun. Oh no, it's always 20%. No, 15, 20, 25. Okay, so once again I'll grab that. So... okay, that's where we can contact you. That's cool. Goodbye. Sadly that didn't work that time. But every year there's a chance we increase how much he likes us, and we're going to keep on buying the ships, which will further increase. Okay, now we need to do the tech for the other one, so we have the other resistance as well. Meanwhile, have I made a dragon yet? Okay, because I can't be here literally all day, I'm not going to read all this. This is the details about this empire, so if you'd like to read these, feel free to. I'm going to scroll, but I will also summarize them in a second. They lived in hives. They had a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. This was the supreme prime, the great prime, but there was a prime in each hive which dictated the day-to-day lives of their citizens. It's interesting, to say the least. This decentralized form of leadership is how we have lived on Flusion for millennia. Not really ambitious to expand beyond their borders, and then of course, the Kaiser arrived. So that's what their species is like. Now, the Empire. One of the most beautiful places on all of Flusion. Isn't particularly big, lovely landscapes, huge train system, and the primes controlling the millions of them. Okay, they exerted their rule, so it's not like a hive mind, but similar concept in my head of how they're at least built together, at least. At least. How did the Kaiser invade you? Everything changed when the Imperium attacked. It was the moon. The moon destroyed them, basically, is what I'm reading here. It destroyed their hurricane turrets, which had been constructed to pierce through Katzen armor. Katzen ships fired clusters of torpedoes, which obliterated our coastal defense hives. But we didn't surrender. And then their panzers. Yep. The Katzen did the unthinkable and released flying versions of this species against them. Using their DNA as a base, they'd bioengineered them, and proceeded to release millions of them over our land, or we couldn't do anything. These creatures were small, fast, nimble, and contained highly corrosive acid, which they spread everywhere upon death. These malicious pixies, all I'm thinking is, are banelings. Chewed through our defences and allowed Katzen infantry to occupy our entire nation without firing a shot. The Empire had fallen. What was done to your land? As you can imagine, lots of industry, lots of changing the culture slowly and conscripting all of them, or at least a good chunk of them, into the military itself. However, this species doesn't really like that, it doesn't click with them, and they have a very long lifespan. So, although a lot of them are currently obeying, that's why this rebellion is still going to take hold eventually, because they still really don't like what's going on. Finally, who exactly is the Kaiser? The most megalomaniac being in existence, that's who. He seeks only to expand, conquer, and then expand some more, and of course, conquer some more as well, going after the entire galaxy. Nothing is sacred to him. He'll happily pave over our ancestral pastures to make more military factories. He does occasionally make compromise, but those compromises are clearly just so there's more time to indoctrinate the citizens. The Katzens follow him as a deity, and he is incredibly mysterious, just arriving one day whilst the Katzen were having a crisis, and instantly took over. He's mysterious and annoying. Okay, so that's pretty much everything there. So now it's just going to be a matter of waiting until they're stronger and hopefully keeping on the Katzen's good side so we can continue to undermine them from within. They're going to start going to war really soon. They have 2 bordering empires, so they're going to start demanding stuff. Ooh. They're already building megastructures. That was like 2 seconds. Warforges look so cool. I wish we could build these. Here are the Ether Drakes. Don't know how he made 2 of them at once. Do you just happen to make 2 each time? Oh, they're tiny as well, but very strong apparently. Dragon's Breath, which is that huge attack you see. Then Wing Skewers, just do less shield damage, but that's it. And then Drake's Lightning, which is point defense. All energy. Energy and armor. Okay, yeah, so what we really need to do is build as many macro engineering facilities as possible, just to increase the armor of all of our units. What a weird mix of things here now. Okay, so now I've got all of the different types of Scourge, I think. Right? No. Why don't I have all of them? I thought I was... You're making the Blue Wraith. You're making... What am I missing? Oh, I'm missing the Swarm Queens. Okay. Broodmothers are all strikers. The warriors are, I imagine, more missiles. And then the little ones are the acid blasts and missiles. Got it. Due to the support from other empires, the resistance in the Imperium has increased. I wonder if that other empires also increases us. The Katzen will now suffer greater penalties, hindering their war effort. Interesting. Well done. The Katzen didn't find out about us, right? Yeah, still cordial, perfect. We'll buy more ships when we can. We have found the Freedom Fighters. The former ruler of the Salakian Republic, Dofus, was forced into an unconditional surrender by the forces of the Katzen Imperium during the Kaiser's conquest of Flusion. Although he has been relatively cooperative towards the Katzens and served as regional governor for Katzen-ruled parts of Salakia, Sure. Dofus has secretly maintained a network of partisans and freedom fighters dedicated to undermining Katzen rule on Flusion and hopefully one day restoring the Salakian Republic. The Salakians possess an incredible affinity with everything related to computer science and artificial intelligence, as their former society revolved heavily around virtual entertainment and intelligent robotics. As such, even though they are not capable of directly fighting against the Katzen army, the freedom fighters are nonetheless able to secretly maintain a relatively large network of partisans across Flusion, which regroups several other resistance groups from Flusion. That was so difficult for me to read. Unfortunately, without external support, their efforts haven't gone very far, but this might change now that we have contacted them. Didn't expect that. Gotta be honest, didn't expect that. Hey there. Ah, finally some good news around here. Words cannot express how relieved I am that foreign power has finally decided to assist us. I am Dofus, but you can just call me Dofus. For several decades, I have been attempting to coordinate my former citizens as well as other species in a series of attempts to destabilize Katzen rule over Flusion, but sadly to no avail. We might be very skilled when it comes to computing, but the Katzens are too. Our beloved Salakian Republic used to be a place of freedom, free will, excessive partying, and virtual entertainment, which the Katzens have taken great care to tear down and replace with their militarist order and cult of the Kaiser. That darn Kaiser. What a silly goose he is. We had a chance to act to stop Project the Moon, but we were blinded by his smooth talking and speeches claiming it was for the good of all Flujonians. Bunch of lies, that is. The Kaiser... Oh god, this voice. The Kaiser gives the illusion of freedom, but discreetly, yet effectively, convinces billions of Flusians into mindlessly following whatever he says. No more, I say! With external funding, we might... It's like Dragon's Den. We might be able to squeeze his asinine, established order where it is the weakest. And cause the whole thing to burst like an overinflated water balloon. Oh, good, now my voice is back to being normal. We shall work together for the greater good. Whoa! what the potato is all this? Oh boy, gigastructures, you sure do so many things. I'm gonna just have a read here and figure out what's going on. This doesn't even feel like Stellaris anymore. This screen allows you to manage the operations on Fusion. Each area has a partisan activity level varying between negligible and critical. The higher the activity in the area, the more debuffs the Imperium will receive. An operation can be conducted in an area by clicking on it. Operations will increase Katzen wariness, which in turn will decrease the likelihood of operations succeeding. We can manage wariness and give the partisans resources using the manage buttons. Operations take 15 days to execute, we can only do one at a time. So this is weapons damage, army health and bombardment damage. Anti-wormhole field active, psycho-repellent field active, okay. Army morale. There is just so much here. Ship build speed. Army damage again. Jump time. Intelligence center. Missile damage. Okay, that is so much. So we can do an operation. If successful, it actually gives more wariness, but we can remove wariness once they're actually wary. Okay, but naturally decays once per year. And has a chance of decreasing further based. Okay. So if they like us, that goes down faster. So we can exert our influence, give them weaponry, send them funds, we can afford all that. Raid warehouse. 65% chance of getting 2 resources and a 35% chance of failing. So I guess we should just do something right now. So I guess with the Katzen grasp, if it's low, we probably have a higher chance of succeeding. Okay. Well, this is missile damage. That's obviously a big deal. That's interesting, though. Anti-wormhole field. So I guess that's like your super weapons. I'm probably not going to read every bit of detail here because there is just so much. But I'm going to try and just skim read one more time before I choose my first target. So let's go with this. Let's go with the 105%. So in 15 days, there should be an event there then. Or not. There we go. The Fusion partisans report that the operation in the area went exactly as planned. Their agents have managed to carry out the sabotage on Katzen infrastructure, which will inflict penalties on the Katzen and increase partisan activity in the region, as more partisans will be able to regularly sabotage Katzen infrastructure. Additionally, the partisans managed to execute a number of raids on Katzen warehouses during the operation, allowing, to get more resources. The Katzens have, however, noticed the sabotage and immediately enacted stricter anti-partisan measures, subsequently increasing their wariness by 2. So now it's going to be even less chance of us succeeding elsewhere because of wariness. Okay. Yeah, so now it's only plus 15% damage. Before it was plus 30 or so. So how do we get rid of the wariness then? Reassure the Kaiser. Or we can give some of the resources back, which tricks the Katzens into believing the resistance has grown weaker. We could do that, so turn in 1 resource and then do that again. Or I could just remove 1. And I think for now... Oh, we can also bribe the officials. Okay, so for now, we turn in 1 resource. Then we strike again. A lot of their weapons are missiles, so this is a big deal. Oh, they have more fleets now. They're strengthening up. Okay, once again. Okay, this time it's just successful, not insanely successful. The Katzen aren't disliking us because of this, right? They haven't put 2 and 2 together that we're helping them. Yeah? Goodbye. Yeah, still cordial. Okay. I need some more energy. I am actually building some Dyson spheres, so that's going to be good later. So now if we look over here. Now it's minus 20%. And now I will reassure the Kaiser. Everything is absolutely fine, you love us. And then I'll let that naturally decay, and I'll pay to increase the resources later. So that's all we can do for now. That is really cool. Just putting out there, that is such a cool system, and so weird that it's in Stellaris. Okay, we have the Swarm Queens. So yeah, loads of missiles, a couple of acid blasts, a couple of strikers. The Queens don't actually seem as good as the Brood Mothers, but that's fine. I'm going to stop producing anything right now because, well, there's just way too much for our Navy capacity to handle right now. Need to fix that. It begins. They're now starting to spread. A new operation has been successful. I always clicked the wrong one. So now they have minus 25% ship build speed. Sorry, ship speed. Which is actually better. I mean, it's going to make running rings around them a lot easier. Less shield HP would be good though. Most of our armies, being the biological armies, are good versus armor, but very bad versus shields. Actually, no, that's not true at all, because the Scourge kind of ignore shields. No, the Scourge are the opposite, aren't they? Sorry, I was getting mixed up because I was thinking about my dragons. The dragons have energy weapons, which are that, but our lovely broods... Yeah, bonus shield damage and ignoring shield. So actually, it's their armor we want to remove, because the Scourge are going to be the main forces eventually. Trying to make as many brood mothers as possible. They're kind of splitting up weirdly. Just loads of strike craft. Though I do think the warriors are probably better with those missiles. Those missiles are dreadfully powerful. I think the main ones are actually the worst, the largest, the queens. So for now, lots of brood mothers and the occasional wraith. I didn't even realise we had this primitive civilization. We could have saved them. Just further proof that what we're doing is just. Wow. Extreme. Oh, can I not do anything else? So that's the end then. So extreme is the end. So now they're doing minus 40% missile damage, and this place is basically under our control. We can't currently get rid of the wariness, so I'll leave that, and I can't currently boost them, I think, without doing a raid, but I am not going to risk that. Just getting their ship speed down and their missiles down is going to be a big deal. Again, we want the other empire to win. I'm not going to try and kill the Katzen myself. I want to see if I can be completely hands-off. Still only on 1. That's not great. They're still friendly with us, though, which is good. Can't currently afford anything. We are still spending a lot over here upgrading things. Alarming news. The Kaiser has recently been made aware of our collusion with the partisans and our involvement in the recent spike in anti-Katzen resistance. He has openly denounced our empire in a recent speech, and his opinion of us has decreased. Now, thankfully, he was really friendly with us. Oh, I think that may have gone down by 2. Okay. Really worrying. Maybe we should slow down, although I did just start an event. There it is. Whoops. On the upside, extreme activity there, so ship speed and everything is really, really down. You okay? Good. So, they're now using the space submarines, which are a problem because we don't have any countermeasures until we destroy some of their ships and then research from them, which of course we're not going to do. I'm hoping that our allies won't have a big problem with them, but we'll see later. If we destroy 15 of them, we will unlock a special project to develop countermeasures. Okay. So of course we can still destroy them and so can our ally, but hopefully they can beat them fast. So far the Katzen haven't expanded any further, and honestly we're not really doing much else. Oh, I say that, other than moving in all our broodmothers because we're going to take out the last of the purifier species next to us. That way, we'll have a clear shot at the Fallen Empire. Oh, so in Galactic priorities, you can mobilize against the Katzen Imperium, giving plus 25% damage against them. The Anti-Kaiser Crusade, so everyone declares war at once. Denounce the Katzen invasion. A future revolution by the Order will be 10% more powerful, though the Katzen dislikes everyone by 1 extra. Partisan activity by 2 in places, that's really good, and raiding Katzen warehouses is increased. Galactic recognition of the Republic increases partisan activity by 1 everywhere except in the main Katzen place. Ooh. That might be worth it. That's only -1 against us, so you know what? Yeah, let's try and push that through. Oh, did that session just start? Wow, if I was just seconds earlier. Well, that's something for the future anyway. Still gonna be a while before we can completely remove everything, so... And also, we're getting really unlucky. As the years go by, we haven't seen an increase in their strength once, except for the very first one. Level 2, moderate. -7% fire rate, -5% army damage with the Katzen. We can now order them to attack the power grid, which will impede their navy. But for now, I mean, that might weaken them, I guess. So I think for now, we'll just, I don't know what that does. Well, we're not at war with them now, so I'll just leave it just to hopefully get more strength for them. The Cats aren't really expanding as quickly as I expected, to be honest. I'm just still amazed this is in Stellaris. It just doesn't even feel like it right now. Okay, so we actually have options here. There's a 25% chance that the Kaiser will find out about this, in which case his opinion of us will decrease. If the operation is successful, all Katzen ships will receive the following debuff for 2 years: -40% speed, plus 25% jump charge time. There is a 10% chance of a great success, which will lead to the resistance increasing by 1. I'm gonna roll the dice. Let's find out. Oh, as I run out of money completely there. Our first Dyson Sphere is about to come online, we'll be fine then. Successful.
Technology.
But didn't increase their power, that's a shame. Well, it's something. They didn't decrease your current strength, no, good. The uprising needs to be at least 5. Okay, there's going to be a big buff to the Imperium. They're going to war with the nation, they're probably going to just completely wipe it out. Definitely are. They are weaker though. Yeah, their main fleet has gone from over 400k to almost 300k now. That is terrifying. First, I'm doing the raid event. We're in such a good position. Yeah, I thought I may as well see if I could completely capitalize on that. So, I'd like to do one of these big events. Steal the blueprints. Storm the pyramid. Whoa, is that... That can actually collapse the Imperium. Critical or revolting resistance. Extreme partisan activity in every region. Every other Flugian operation must be completed. We must be at war with the Imperium. Okay, so that's not the final one then. This one requires extreme partisan activity in that place and there. Ah, okay. Just having a look at which ones I have to sort out. I'd like to do at least one of these big events. We could try for this one to save the daughter of the resistance leader. Which 2 places? I'm so bad with these. Being dyslexic, the made-up places names is really difficult for me. Okay, so basically you just need these 2 to be completely on our side. Okay then. Go. Don't think I'm doing any of these right now. I can do one of them, but that's it. May as well. So now we move on to this one. This is more difficult. So this one is their intelligence center. Doesn't seem to actually give any negatives. I guess maybe some negatives will happen just when you have the effect. Significant is already done. We need extreme though here. Okay. Greatly successful. Enemy ships inflict 10% more damage. Oh, that's beautiful. So that's even going to happen right now, although... yeah, I doubt they're going to stand a chance. Look how slowly they move because of all that sabotage.
Technology conceived.
Well, they fought bravely, but they can do this. Yeah. Not you. How do I always mix that up? There we go. I don't think I can get that down at the moment, can I? No. So I doubt 96%. That would bring it to significant there. Oh yeah, I accidentally clicked this one at one point, which is really irritating. And I could do that, but then the wariness is so high. Okay. The Kaiser currently really likes us. It's on level 3 now? Yeah, very friendly. Because I've been doing this every single time I can. How many of those do I have now? All these are Katzen. That's absurd. Okay. And yes, elated. We can actually make an alliance with them now, which is really weird. I mean, no, I don't think that would be a good thing to do. I'm just going to wait until these come off cooldown, then I'm going to take out that to its final level, then try to rescue the daughter.
Technology conceived.
Finally unleashing our swarm. Oh, look our little scourgelings. Aren't they something? So many of them. Oh, that's such an absurd number of strikecraft. We are the swarm. More worlds for us, and these worlds I'm going to turn stronghold worlds, because honestly, I just need the naval capacity desperately. Oh, it's a little habitat. Is that your last world? No, there's a world over there as well. Oh, and a fleet. Oh, you're really strong. Oh, because you're a dragon. Dragon, go do your thing. The original dragon. The OG. The OD. So with that, we're now able to do this mission. Will likely join us as a powerful general. Katzen awareness increased by 3. They'll get penalties to their ground forces, and the Kaiser's opinion will decrease by 2. That's still okay. It's not really the best bonus for us, but, I mean, still cool. Need to remove these. The last one managed to get removed by itself, so just double check and make sure the Katzen are currently still on 4 with us. Yep, they're still elated with us, which is funny, honestly. So you... and... oh, still...
is under attack.
Okay, give me just a couple of seconds. Make sure everything's okay, because if things go wrong... yeah, let's do it.
Our space hive is lost.
She's rescued! I'll read this in just a second. Feel free to read it yourself. I'm just going to summarize it. I just want to see this fleet do its thing. They have to get so close to spawn in the strikecraft, but it's so many strikecraft. Although Scourge strikecraft don't fight other strikecraft, do they? Am I correct in that? I know there's something weird about them. Or am I thinking of the amoeba ones? Could be just thinking about the amoeba. I never know what I'm talking about. So they used one of the wormholes to grab her after they destroyed the structure. However, the loss of such an important asset is sure to make the Katzens take very drastic measures to combat partisan activities on Flusion, while the Kaiser is very likely to find out we were behind this entire operation within the next few months. But now they get a permanent minus 15% army damage, minus 15% army health. It'll certainly slow them down, along with just how slow they're moving. Okay, once again, I just didn't expect it, okay? I'm just thinking cats and stuff, and now... You. I may just take the influence. They were experimenting on her, which obviously is a horrible thing. Who are you exactly? The daughter of Dophus, of course. Back in the old days when Flusion was free, I helped him lead our great nation, even took direct leadership of a large part of the armed forces. Okay. What are soulbots? Soulbots were invented by Dophus himself. They're the greatest creation, an artificial robotic chassis capable of hosting a soul within itself. Just like me, so that's what you are, okay. When an individual dies, we can melt their body into a peculiar soul gem. Okay, then. So that's what they've been using, that's why now having her is a big bad thing for them. You know what? I'd rather just have the... no, I want to see how good of a leader she is. So she's a general, I believe, it was said. Oh god, we have so many armies now, it's a little bit insane. So she is... Dophus' little miracle. Immortal, army morale plus 20%, army morale damage plus 20%, collateral damage minus 20, extra army damage, a leader experience gain, leader level cap, and synthetic. Okay, yeah, so she is also level 10, so she's like the ultimate general. Got it. Just realised I didn't ask her about one of those questions, but we'll try and remember. Wait. They've got to... Where's the... Okay, you're going back to defend, right? They managed to get all the way. You know what? I don't think... They could potentially lose these wars, just how slow they are. Our sabotage has really weakened them. Now, this is a weak empire with... Why have you not reformed? Doesn't matter. This is a really weak empire, but with how slow their movement is, it's just so easy to get behind them. They're incapable of taking out other empires. You know what? I don't think it matters the fact we spawned them a little bit later than we should have, because as long as they didn't spawn next to us. The sabotage mechanic's fantastic. Okay, extreme in this one, and then significant in that. Okay, I've got one of them already. Blow the dam, and this is army damage again. If we can take out their armies so much. No, okay, so right now we don't actually have any resources, plus we need to smooth things over for a while, regardless. Yeah, that influence is going to be used to... Okay, we've done that one. Do that. Do that. I may raid a warehouse. That will go down that will go down naturally, especially as the Katzen like us. Though, they won't like us soon, since they will probably figure out what happened, though it hasn't happened just yet. Following a thorough investigation, it has come to our attention that you were the ones orchestrating this little heist. Do you really believe you can just snatch up one of our most precious scientific assets without us noticing? We demand immediate payment. Oh, sure. 10,000, therefore it's only gone by 1. You let Flusion get bombarded a little bit then. Just putting out there. Whoa. I want all these things. Yeah, still very friendly despite all that, though. I'd like to buy more ships, please. The Katzen are really doing quite badly. And it's because of one thing. Their speed is just so bad. I think they just lost their ground forces. Did they? They were there. Yeah, they must have. Just watch them try to move anywhere. Okay, that's a bad example. You. That's a full speed. Look how slow that is. They can't do anything. They can't react. At all. That needs, in my opinion, that might need to be nerfed. Because the empires around them are weaker. They're weaker than we would have been if we set this at an earlier time. They're still friendly with us, at least. In the meantime, I have continued my campaign of just constantly sabotaging them. Because, yeah, I think, honestly, I don't think we're gonna need these guys. There's nowhere to uprise. I think we're going to go for Storm the Pyramid. I was going to go for Blow the Dam here. So if you take out both the dams, it causes an agricultural crisis, which may lead to fringe worlds revolting against the Kaiser's rule. They don't have any fringe worlds, but also it weakens your resistance, because you're starving the people, and they don't like that, for some reason. I can't do any of that right now. We've struck at the Heartlands, we've grabbed these two over here, so for this then, critical or revolting resistance. Oh, so we do need the others, and they're almost there anyway. Extreme in every region. Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 currently on extreme. We have this one and this one on significant, then we have these doing nothing. Currently minus 20% weapon damage as well. Oh my god, the moon's only down to 170,000. But it was just the speed. Taking out their speed straight away has just devastated them. Now you may notice currently we are at war with this empire over here as well. This wasn't my choice, but we're going to have to deal with this, and this is because of the Galactic community, which is just irritating, to be honest. But that's fine, we've now cleared a path all the way to the Guardians. We need some more forces, so I'm making some more dragons. They're going to be our main force along with the Scourge. And then soon we'll be attacking these guys. They say pathetic, but they have like 600k, but then they also have like the asteroid artillery all over the place. So they're really not. They are stronger than it looks, and if they awaken, they can be devastating. On the upside though, going to war with all this, it's only the Matriarch. So soon we can even have space whales. A little space whale army is going to be so cute. I can't wait. There we go. Hello, Ahab. Oh, I feel sorry for the Matriarch, but we can now make the Matriarch. I'm gonna make loads of... I'm gonna make a few of them. How expensive is the Matriarch? Almost expensive as the... Oh, if it's as strong as the dragon, I'll be so happy. You know what? No more Swarm Queens. More Matriarchs. Oh, come on, really? Am I even needed in this war? Can you guys be smart enough to go back home? Where are you going?
Technology conceived.
Fusion is about to be attacked. You're on 97k. Sorry, 93k. Oh, Kaiser. Oh, there they are. My little space whales. Oh. Our scientists can make no sense of these. Okay, so we've got one shot which is a high damage but long cooldown. Then a much faster firing one. They're not too bad actually. And again, armor. Lots and lots of armor. I think the dragons are still better, but still very cool. You have swarms everywhere else. You know what? Can everyone please move on over here? It's going to take a while, because I still don't have gateway tech. Apparently I just haven't found a disabled gateway, so I'm not allowed gateway tech, which is really bad, considering my forces are slow, and the end crisis is going to be the contingency, which will be everywhere.
Our space hive is lost.
Scourge legions rolling out is a weird thing to see, especially when mixing them with that dragon or wraith. Well, there's loads of dragons. Guarding a wraith. By decree of the Galactic Senate as of 2328, the Salakian Republic is now the legitimate governing body of the Flusian Salakian lands and any other territory on the planet proclaiming to be Salakian. The Katzen Imperium's occupation of the planet, and by extension, Salakia, is therefore an illegitimate act of warmongering barbarism. A joint declaration of every free member of the Galactic community has officially recognised the Republic as being the rightful government of their own land, thus formally establishing the Imperium as an illegal occupier. The Kaiser is reportedly furious at this predictable act of political manoeuvring, but has assured that it will have no impact on the stability of his empire. Ooh, we even get 15 points back for that, lovely. So now I can give 2 resource by exerting my influence. And by the way, things are looking pretty bad for the Kaiser. As you can see, lots and lots of red here. Still near impossible to do that, but of course that's mostly because of the Katzen wariness. Ooh, lovely, which we can start to chip away at a little bit right now. Better, but not great. So, to win this way, storm the pyramid. We need... Homeworld... Okay, energy and alloys, that's fine. The Panzers, are those the tanks? Because I did buy some of those. So I wanted to check them out again. No. Then what is that army it's talking about? I don't know how to get them. And of course 10 resistance resources, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know how to get that army is the Oh! Oh, okay, so we need to do this mission, and then we can make the armies. Got it, got it. So, basically to tank the fires and nukes. Got it. Let's see if this is going to pay off. Lovely. The Katzens barely even noticed anything, avoiding wariness growth. Fantastic. I don't like the fact it looks like I might have to destroy the dams. This is going to make people very upset. Okay, so we destroyed one of the... yeah, and instantly we lost some of our power here. But what it's actually done to the Katzen is minus 10 stability. Wow, massive fire rate and hold point decreases. Now, originally I could have attacked him, but now that this has been retaken a bit, we're going to have to wait. Plus, yeah. Katzen very wary right now. Though I can still win. Sure.
Technology conceived.
Now we can get rid of him. If successful, Flusian and the Katzens will get debuffs due to the loss of their main governor, reducing resource production. Katzen wariness will increase by 3, resistance will increase by 2 if the Bundeshell is destroyed. Okay. Ah. Yeah. There's different options on how to carry out this act, and the last one will definitely cause problems and destroy that, so... I'm going to wait until we have way more resources, though, because, yeah. That's a bit of an insane gap. Now, I'm trying to make as many of the Ether Drakes really now as possible. I feel like against the Endgame Crisis, they're probably going to be the main thing we use. Although, some of their attacks are bad versus shields. They do have the super long-range attack, which is so crucial versus Endgame Crisis. Crises. Crisis? I am now also thinking, I think that the contingency may be good versus armor. In which case, oh dear. Well, too bad. We're still going with the biological route. Trying to amass most of my forces, though, over here. Oh, look, there's the original dragon. They're very, very slowly moving there. Again, somehow I didn't get gateway tech this run. Every word is one word. Oh, I didn't realise, look. In the big vat, each of the little vats has an example of things you can make. So there's the Stellar Devourer, there's a queen in the center, There's the dragon over there, the tiny little wraith, the matriarch. That is such a cool design. The lovely macro engineering fields. I just need as many of these as possible. Our tech is actually pretty atrocious considering our empire size, so this is how we're going to give all the bonuses to our units. Each one of these increases the armor value of our everything by 2%. Might not sound like much, but it really does add up, and we have so many forces which are almost completely armor. We have a lot of broodmothers here. A lot of queens. Where's a dragon to have a look at? Or wraith. The wraith will do. So currently just plus 32%. I would like to try and get to plus 100% before the contingency arrive, but we'll see. So, how do we remove him from existence? Well, let's go to the poison option. I don't want to lose power here because we're finally starting to make way to the end of this. Lovely. Good riddance. Katzen awareness increased by 3. Less resources from jobs, less stability, and obviously the governor has now gone. Our Slackian allies report that the operation to poison Loris took place without issues. They managed to infiltrate Loris' surroundings and slip an extremely violent poison with delayed activation into his food, which slipped past notice and killed him in seconds of him ingesting it. Following the discovery of Loris' body, the Kaiser has declared a national day of mourning and gave a speech condemning the barbaric actions. Okay, so let's continue. I'm hoping I don't need to do the other dam before we go after the pyramid itself, but we'll see as we get there. Need to wait to remove some of the wariness anyway, because there's no chance we can attack that without, because this is really difficult. So this is one of the Katzen worlds. It's a fortress world, which is really cool looking. Oh, it's one of those worlds. Yeah, I've never actually made one of these myself. I need to at some point. Despite some enemies managing to get through this system quite a few times because of how slow the Katzen forces are, they still haven't really been able to do much. They devastated it a little bit, but then this upgraded, and now, yeah, the Katzen are back in charge. They still have their moon, by the way, which is still destroying and bombarding a lot of stuff. So the weirdest thing just happened. I've never had this before. We have a leader, which isn't us. A galactic custodian, which isn't the player character. What? Doesn't matter, we're still much stronger than them. If they dare to try and encroach on our way of life, well. Dragon Legion with a horrible scourgy swarm. Clusters and clusters of them. These are all getting ready to take out the Fallen Empire, and honestly, we're very, very close. And I love the fact we have our normal dragon there, along with the little baby dragon. I love how far the cloned ones spread to attack. So tiny. I am in love with the Wraiths, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they're all that good, even in comparison to the Scourge. But I just adore their little silly jelly faces. Lack of faces. We're getting close. I'm really, really hoping that we don't need to do the other dam. If we have to do this, it's going to take us even longer. But right now, we are now finally attacking the home of the cats. It's interesting that he's on a pyramid, which is worrying. So, yeah, it's not looking good for the cats, let's just say that. Although they still have their moon, which is still causing some trouble and defending Flusion just about. This is going to weaken everything. And then we can storm the pyramid. We do have the ground forces now, which are really nasty. And we are getting very close. So sadly, the uprising wasn't really needed. I think this one is more... Yeah, if the Imperium is getting way too powerful. Saying that, once this one's active, you can still do the whole Kaiser thing, but I really think that right now, if we do this, it's going to be over in seconds. The Kaiser, as soon as you remove their speed, they were so much stronger than their neighbours still, by multiple factors. But as soon as you slow down their pre-FTL speed, non-FTL speed, it just stops them from being able to defend themselves properly.
We will annihilate the others.
Sending in the swarms. I mean, that would be a sight to see, wouldn't it? Oh, that dragon is so much faster than the others. Can you fall back? Nope, you're already technically in combat. Well, darn, you're going to be ripped to shreds, probably, original dragon. All the dragon fire there, quickly removing a lot of the shields. The original dragon is taking the brunt of the damage, and it managed to escape, thankfully. The Scourge are now here. Honestly, the Scourge Strikecraft are bloody terrifying. The damage these things can do once they get into combat is very, very high. But with all the dragon fire as well, of course. The combo is fantastic. In terms of repeatables, I've been focusing mostly on Strikecraft damage and energy weapon cooldown, so the dragons can use their burst more often. And of course, the Strikecraft can just be horrifying, horrifying things. Okay, the enemies have just backed off straight away, which is probably quite silly, because I imagine their war goal is just humiliate. Yes, I don't really care if they leave the territory. I was actually hoping for a cool space battle, but I guess we'll wait until the contingency for that. We do have 3 more fleets. So, 3 more fleets. 4 more fleets. So, I guess I'll use those to just take out other systems. Just more dragons and loads more of the warriors and broodmothers. The swarm is here. Spiritualists, your psionic entities mean nothing to the oh my god, look at all those Strikecraft. Sorry, that took me off guard. That is bloody horrifying. Wow, these stations can take a beating though. So can the asteroid artillery. Just showing that really attack moons and stuff are always going to be more powerful than this, but I don't care. The swarm is, in the end, victorious. Wow. Oh, those dead dragons. Are they alive? No, they're alive. I wonder how much we lost then. It must have been loads, right? Yeah, loads of swarm broodmothers. Did I lose any dragons? Ether Drake, no. Ether Drake 1. 2. Yeah, I think the Drakes really are probably what we should go with more, but the actual damage that the broodmothers can do once the Strikecraft are fully there is just... It's going to rip apart the contingency, since they're mostly shields, I think. No, I think they're balanced, but still, we're going to be terrible versus shields, so the dragons are probably going to be a bit weaker, even if they do have that nice burst. Hey, Sky Temple. I mean, we still want their organic matter, but, you know, the Scourge need to feed. Reports are coming in that the Kaiser has completed a large-scale infrastructure project aiming at radically reshaping Flusion's surface to allow the planet to properly support its ever-growing population, provided by the Kaiser's conquests and colonization efforts. The Katzen capital of Cattown has been enlarged tremendously, becoming a colossal megacity stretching for thousands of kilometers over Flusion's surface, with the Kaiser going as far as constructing half of the megacity underwater in order to accommodate for Flusion's amphibious species. Other major Katzen-built cities, such as those two, have been expanded as well in order to concentrate Flusion's non-Katzen populations, evidently to establish greater control of the planet's population. The planet's ecosystem has almost been completely replaced with organisms specifically engineered to fit the Katzen's needs, whilst dozens of additional quarries and industrial centres have been constructed to harvest Flusion's humongous resource stockpiles in order to fuel the Katzen war machines. The Kaiser has given a triumphant speech in front of his empire celebrating his grand accomplishment, which will, according to him, drastically increase the living standards of Flusion's inhabitants, and yet experts across the galaxy mostly agree that this is part of the plan to facilitate mass surveillance. Okay. Gains a new powerful district. Ooh, pretty. Bad timing, but pretty. Ah, so you do have to do all the other events, including that one. I think. Must be present in our home world, need to have at least. Well, actually, no, I don't have the resource right now. Okay, so save up 25,000 energy, which will take me all of 2 seconds. I've got 10,000 alloys. 10 resistance resources. Okay, so I need those up as well. I'm really hoping I don't have to do that. Every other Flusion operation must be completed. It's in green, but that doesn't always... I mean, that was always in green. The dam's on even before I broke it. I think I have to do this, which means I'm going to have to do other events. Oh! Well, we'll save up to 10 anyway first, just in case. And we'll make sure we've got the ground forces present on my homeworld, which I currently do, but I'm going to double check. And then hopefully we can storm the pyramid without doing this one. If we have to do that one, then so be it. As the last warheads are put into place, the various parts and groups who accepted to sacrifice themselves for this vast operation take one breath and press the triggers. It only takes mere seconds for several explosions to engulf the kilometers-long dam. As the dam undergoes catastrophic collapse, these explosions are quickly followed by tidal waves, the likes Flusion has never seen before. Yep. Not very happy. At least I did it first try and I didn't use the extra warhead, so it's gonna be a little bit faster to take back control of these two. Then hopefully we can do storm the pyramid. I'm also now at war with the Katzen, though I think that may have been a bit too early. We shall see. And look, you can see in the corner there, there's the lovely little moon. The disruption of both of the dams have thrown Flusion's agricultural production into disarray. With the climate being significantly impacted by the sudden halt of both geoengineering projects, the Katzen capital is effectively no longer able to feed itself. In order to avoid famine on its most important worlds, the Kaiser has subsequently reversed Flusion's role regarding food production, with it now importing large quantities of food from other parts of the Empire instead. So, various parts will break away over the next 8 months, though I doubt that's really going to do anything since they only own 3 worlds currently, 2 of which are in their home territory, so yeah. Those pop-ups always happen at the worst possible time. Okay, why not now? Every other Flusion activity must be completed. Done. Critical or revolting resistance, they're currently on critical. Extreme partisan activity in every region, done. This is the only thing I have not got currently is 10 resistance resources. So I'll have to do all these on... Actually, I was about to say every on cooldown, but we're going to get really close. So the next wave of them, I think this one is going to come up soon. Then we can check. Finally, our Scourge forces have devoured enough of the defenders that we're now attacking them. And remember, as we kill them, there is a chance that they are resurrected as undead. The happiest leader ever. How goes the Celestial Throne? A bit less so. Don't worry, we'll slowly devour them anyway. Scourge forces can be made so quickly. We're going to lose loads of them to the contingency because their armor's just going to melt, but we can just make so many so fast. The dragons are a bit more difficult to create, but also have a lot more health, thankfully. Yeah, the Broodmothers really just don't have the health at all, do they? These are almost at 200k armor now. Whereas the Broodmothers are only at 5k. Oof. Yeah, the dragons probably are what we should focus on more, but I just love the idea of just so many Strikecraft. I love Strikecraft. They're buggy, they're weird. Half the time they don't do what you want them to do. But you know what? They're bloody fun. And I'll take that. Thank you very much. Storm the Pyramid. This is Attempt 10, with Flusion on the brink of revolt, and the Imperium busy fighting against our forces and dealing with the revolts, as well as their administration in shambles following the destruction of their most valuable assets. All the pieces are in place for a large-scale Flusion rebellion to overthrow Katzen rule across Flusion and end the Kaiser's madness once and for all. The Queen of the Zonian government in exile will be able to combine her teleportation abilities with that of thousands of exiled Zosanians to transport several divisions of our lovely tanks from our homeworld all the way to Flusion in order to spearhead the assault, while Flusion partisans will rise up all across Flusion without us needing to land any actual armies on it. Now, assuming the operation succeeds, the Flusians themselves will be in control of Flusion. However, depending on our ethos and civics, they might be willing to transfer control of Flusion over to us if they deem our empire to be better than the Kaiser. Currently, Flusion willingness to transfer Flusion to us after rebellion is equal to minus 15%. We eat people. Our whole thing is eat people, turn them into giant space scourge things. Of course they don't want to give us control. We're also xenophobes on top of that. We're only doing this because Kaiser bad, you better. Once we begin the but don't tell them that. Once we begin the operation, we will have to hold out for 6 months while the partisans prepare the uprising, after which a massive ground battle will begin on Flusion, which will determine the ultimate fate of the Imperium. Sol herself has been chosen to lead the revolution, as her combat abilities and charisma are sure to be invaluable assets for the upcoming fight. So I'm going to lose her as minion. And thus, the order has been given across Flusion. Partisan groups are discreetly mobilizing for the largest uprising Flusion has seen in decades, while Demora and them are transporting these from our homeworld to Flusion and disguising them as loyal Katzen troops. Once the uprising begins, we will be able to use various combat abilities using the buttons on the bottom of the screen to help gain the upper hand against the Katzen. This is going to be a QTE. But some of these abilities might be quite destructive to Flusion and will, in turn, lower the Flusion willingness to transfer Flusion to us after battle. I don't really care about them gaining the world. If Flusion falls or is destroyed before the 6 months period ends, the uprising will obviously be scrapped. Okay, I'm ready. Kinda. What? It began as a quiet day on Flusion. Partisan activity seemed to have died down, which quite pleased the Kaiser, as the ongoing war against the Fleshcrafter Federation was certainly something to worry about. That is, until several legions of panzers suddenly went rogue and began to open fire on Katzen military installations across Flusion, leveling them within minutes. Before the order could be given to halt the rogue vehicles, reports of rebellion began popping up all across Flusion. It started with localized militias rising up, and quickly turned into a veritable tidal wave of partisans rising up from every street corner in every part of the Katzen capital, openly brawling with Katzen police and assaulting military vehicles with weapons ranging from improvised explosives to outright stolen Katzen equipment. In revolting areas, signs bearing the Katzen names of cities and streets were spray painted over to further bolster the partisans' morale and mark the beginning of the end of Katzen rule. It took mere hours for all of Flusion to erupt in violent and open revolt, with the rebels rapidly shifting from disorganized militias into somewhat organized armies. A necessary hurdle if they were to defeat the perfectly oiled Katzen war machine. The battle for Flusion had begun and its outcome might very well determine the fate of the Okay, not quite, but certainly gonna be interesting. So much. So I had to read this a few times. So what's gonna happen now is every 15 days I can use one of these 4 effects to turn the tide of the war. As you can probably see, the enemy are stronger than us currently. You can see the stats here, with the one on our side here, and of course, Porton over there. So the options we have, so this is every 15 days. Infiltrate Katzen lines, that will have a 66% chance of giving us one of their weaker armies and a 33% chance of giving us one of the panzers, which obviously are absolute beasts. We have a tactical nuke, which will destroy lots of the enemy, but will cause all sorts of problems to Fusion and make them less likely to join us afterwards, which you can certainly imagine. We have military coercing. The Fusions serving in the Kaiser's military need to be reminded of who their allies are, threatening to execute traitors. Ugh. Should the rebels win, we'll surely convince some of them to defect to our side, right? They don't like that kind of horrible tactic, but will bring between 3 and 6 previously hostile defense forces to our side. That's a strong one. And then anti-Katzen propaganda, making them weaker, and will increase the chance of Fusion giving us the world afterwards. And has a 50% chance of spawning 3 to 6 friendly assault armies on Fusion. I don't know which one I want there. Honestly. I think the first thing I'm going to do is the propaganda. That will reduce damage, which will be at its best early on. So that's 50 influence. Ooh, but then I won't be able to... No, okay, so influence, unity, rare resources, which is absolutely nothing, so the nuke's actually cheapest for us, annoyingly. Hey, it worked! Okay, so that gave us the militia down there. They're not particularly powerful, but yeah, any forces are any forces, and it's weakened them by a percentage. So in 15 days, we can go again. I'm going to fire a nuke. It's hard to see what really happened there. Oh, their leader just died. The theft one seems better. The stealing some of the population. We are just reminding them that traitors aren't rewarded here. The fact that we're the necromancers is really helping out. Yeah, they keep on getting the undead, and they're pretty nasty. Boop. So that's reducing their damage. Oh, our tanks are all down, though, now. They only have one left. So, yeah, I don't see a point in doing anything else. We're obviously going to win.
The others speak.
Wish I had will to power on from the start, though, to, you know, give us more influence. I didn't realise how good that one would be, but, you know, it's fine.
Enemy wardrobes invade our nest. Enemies occupy our nest.
No. Oh, more influence. Lovely. That was good timing. Boop.
Enemy nest taken.
At last, victory is near. All that remains is to remove the Kaiser from this world. A breaching party has been prepared to attack the pyramid. The end is near. Hello. Ooh. We have choices. It didn't take long for our more interesting allies to find their way into the pyramid thanks to their ability to fit into the smallest spaces, such as vents. After sneaking their way into the main hall while avoiding the notice of the numerous guards, they threw explosives into the room and paved the way for external strike forces to enter. What ensued was brutal room-to-room combat as our brave soldiers, assisted by our allies, fought legions upon legions of highly trained and loyal Katzen soldiers, but our ability to rapidly reinforce meant the Katzens were eventually outgunned and pushed back to the higher parts of the pyramids. Also, just a reminder that our forces are zombies, skeletons, and xenomorphs. Just that image in your head, bit brutal. Eventually pushing through the labyrinthian complex of rooms and corridors, the team reached a fortified bulwark guarding the Kaiser's office bunker. The bulwark, despite being heavily reinforced, was no match for a few demolition charges, and our team quickly breached into the Kaiser's office with little actual expectations. They were expecting to find either a dead Kaiser or to find nothing at all, as he could have evacuated to some other bunker underground. And yet, there he was. Kaiser Cattail, facing away from our team, was looking through a vast reinforced window overlooking Cat Turn's burning cityscape, as if stoically awaiting his own fate. Offer surrender, or shoot him already. I'm kind of curious about offer surrender, because I feel like he'll just do it himself, but I know what my forces are meant to be, my empire, so goodbye. One of our soldiers standing behind the Eskians drew their weapons and aimed at the Kaiser for a few seconds before pressing the trigger, and all they hear is the sound of a bullet impacting an energy shield, which materialized around the Kaiser. The soldier fires a few more shots to no avail as the shield stops every single one of them. He suddenly speaks up as the gun runs out of ammo, his voice echoing across the room. Well, are you done yet? I must admit that I haven't had someone try to outright murder me for a while, so this is quite refreshing. Surprisingly, most of them offer surrender, which is rather quaint, I must say, he says, slowly turning around to face our team. So I imagine something weird's going to happen, because this guy apparently just arrived out of nowhere and took over the Katzen while they were in turmoil. He probably isn't a Katzen. He's probably something much, much weirder. Next time I better install some better vent protection. Next time. Yes, enough talk. Say, you, and you too, Fleshcrafter. Tell me before the clock strikes midnight, was it worth it? The team exchanges confused glares at the Kaiser as he continues his monologue. Was it worth it to systematically dismantle the order which I'd created, under the pretense that it was intrinsically bad, just because I dared oppose your government? Did you stop to consider the true benefits that I can bring? Prosperity and equality under benevolent leadership. I'm just gonna go with the first one. This really does go on for a while, doesn't it? I do appreciate the effort that's been put into all this. War and suffering this, war and suffering that. Do you not view the bigger picture, Fleshcrafter? You can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs, and I'm making the mother of all omelettes, you see. He pauses for a moment. War is a necessary evil. I do not like it as much as you might think, personally, but alas, it is the only universal language that you folks understand. Do you not see the futility of it all? Empires rise and empires crumble, an eternal cycle of eternal suffering. Do you think that breaking this asinine circle once and for all would prevent so much? I mean, that's what I'm planning to do with my Scourge. And that is what I seek to do. Sure, it might take a bit of violence at first to unite the galaxy under a single everlasting banner, but think of the benefits. No more war, no more conflicts, and most importantly, the galaxy united, we might have a shot at resisting them. Those that lie beyond, be serious. Do you really think that being petty and divided is the way forward? Do you really think that the universe is kind and caring? Do you think there is some greater power protecting you from harm? No, the universe does not care about you or me or anyone else. Beyond the galactic rim lies horrors beyond your comprehensions. Hunters that extinguish the very stars themselves. Entities of such great power, their entire galaxy is but a grain of sand to them. And even more unfathomable abominations dwarfing your worst nightmares. I guess they're talking about the... Oh, the blockets, that's it. For a second I thought Scourge, but no, this is eating stars, that's the blockets. Now, do you think they will be proud of us for being polite and peaceful when they inevitably begin to raise everything we have built to the ground? Will they give the galaxy a pat on the back for being respectful to one another and avoiding war? The answer is obvious, Fleshcrafter. Unity is the only way forward, whether the galaxy and universe want it or not. To safeguard all sapient life from the twin threats of uncaring extragalactic invaders and the petty, cynical collapse that brought down so many great civilizations in the past because they lacked foresight. Try to shoot him again. You know what? We're a simple person. Fire! A soldier grabs their weapon and shoots the Kaiser, but once again, the bullets only hit the Kaiser's personal energy shield. Again? You really don't know when to give up, do you? Well, I do suppose that is a display of great persistence, which a lot of civilizations and species sadly lack. The Kaiser says, looking around the room, an explosion rocks the building and the sound of more soldiers rushing into the pyramid can be heard. Oh, well, it seems the clock has struck midnight. Farewell, farewell, Fleshcrafters. In 1,000 years or 1,000,000 years, when your empires finally crumble under its own weight and decadence, or is swept away by the forces of incomprehensible scope, I hope you remember me. As he finishes his sentence, the Kaiser suddenly begins to glow, blinding everyone in the room. When the glow stops and the team regains awareness of their surroundings, the Kaiser is nowhere to be seen. Although Kaiser Cattail has apparently escaped, or disintegrated, the Grand Pyramid is now under the complete control of the Flusian forces. With the capture of the last bastion of Katzen rule on Flusian, the Imperium is expected to collapse in the next few days. Yeah, I doubt we're getting Flusian. Not exactly a shock there. They decide to keep fusion. Hey, it's you. Really? Suspicious? We have just done so much to save you. Also, you seem to have lost your moon. You know you had that big scary attacking moon? Well, it is what it is, I suppose. Also, at some point, you've destroyed Corona, which is interesting considering. But, yeah. Sure, okay. Can you lot please now move on? I want you to take out that system. Ground forces to stay here, where you're nice and safe. Bombarding this world is taking ages. There's just so many defense forces.
Technology concealed. Enemies occupy our west.
How are some of the dragons missing? There's the strike craft, finally. You're so slow, but once you get there, the damage is insane. But you're so slow.
The station's begun.
Well, I've got Soul here back, so that's good. Oh, so you make 3 of these at the same time. I didn't realise. Since I've got another group of 3 over there and another group of 3 over there. So I'm thinking maybe more matriarchs might be the way forwards. So they're more hull than armor, which means they're not going to scale as well as the dragons because I can't increase hull points. But one of their attacks is a shield destroyer. The other one is armor. In fact, the other one is armor penetration, but not shield penetration. But if we can get enough of these in the groups, we can start breaking through the shields for our dragons' weapons to do their damage. These do a lot more damage than the whales each, but wait, if we're making 3 of them, actually per creation, the whales are doing more damage. I'm actually starting to think maybe the whales are the way forward. It's really difficult to tell what I should do. I think bulk Scourge, so loads of strike craft which can counter lots of stuff, then lots of matriarchs and dragons to be the tanks. The wraiths, sadly, I really don't want to use here. But I think that's currently the plan. We have 8 years before the contingency can spawn in. I am tempted for once to use console commands to force the contingency to spawn early, or to spawn exactly when they can. I might do that if they don't spawn in within the first 5 or 10 years, because obviously we are already very powerful, and I do want to see all of these fight the contingency and see some epic battles between Scourge and contingency, with the backup, of course, of the matriarchs and the dragons and the odd wraith. The initial Ether Drake did, in fact, escape, looking proudly over all of these children. Which isn't even all the fleets, by the way. There's a fleet here, there's so many fleets here, there's a large dragon fleet coming back. This is definitely the most single ships, single entities fleet power I've had, I think, ever. Yeah. Sure, we're not going to be the perfect counter at all versus the contingency. But we're going to prove, once and for all, organic supremacy. Some of these really need to fuse. Meanwhile, some normal ships just doing some damage. After all this time, out of absolutely nowhere, we're now getting gateway travel. I don't know what I did to not get that. I got all the techs I think I needed. I just didn't find the disabled tech to get. You know what? We're getting it. That's the important thing. Now I can send my construction vessels everywhere, and they're going to build gateways absolutely bloody everywhere, because soon the contingency is going to be here, and can you see how slow my forces are? They are just absurdly slow. Move on there, I guess. You're okay where you are. I do have a construction vessel there. I need one down here, though, as well. I don't really need one too much in the core, but actually I would like one. So if you can just get your butt over there as fast as possible, that'd be great. Great. Even with exotic gas for fuel and the pressure thrust increase, we're still very slow. Now, the dragons are the fastest we have, and I'm starting to think that maybe the dragon swarms would have been a better idea than some of the other things we've gone with. Just because of speed, plus they can jump. The wraiths can also jump, but the wraiths, they have a base speed of 80. It's very slow. But still, our forces are all here. I am thinking about separating each of the types, though, so I don't have these like mixed fleets. Okay, except for this one. This is the first one. This keeps making me laugh. But really, Have the dragons all as one, have the matriarchs all as one, so we know what we've got. Though I guess we are probably going to try and group them all up together. I don't really know what to do with that. Shame we didn't get the rubricator. Would have been really interesting to have Shard on our side as well. This took so long, but I think I've separated them all. Okay, so we have the many, many different swarm types over here. So these are the Glorious Scourge, our saviors, and boy are they weaker than the other fleets. But I guess they do take up less fleet capacity and everything else. Whatever, we have... Oh, no, still more. How is there still more? Okay, Drakes, go over there. Thank you. So, we have a few Wraiths. We have all the Matriarchs. We have lots of Dragons. Then we have the Swarms and Swarms and Swarms. And I am now starting to think as well, maybe the real thing we should have just spawned in would be the tiny little Scourge. Because A, it's on theme, and B, Swarms tend to do well versus everything, and if we're going to end up losing stuff anyway, how good are the Swarmlings? Let's have a quick look-see. Also, the big bad can spawn very soon. Like I say, if it doesn't spawn within the first 5 years, I am going to, for once, go into console commands. I actually don't know how to do this, but I'll figure it out. And spawn in the contingency a bit earlier. What I really should do is get one of the mods which allows you to control the Endgame crisis. I know there's one which allows you to spawn in all of them, for instance, and stuff. Perhaps for the future. This was meant to be a chill, quick, full playthrough. Just been out there. That was the original intention. This may be the longest recording I've ever done for any full playthrough at this point. I'm not even kidding, it's been over a week now. It's been over a week. Admittedly, I had a lot of other stuff to deal with, but still, where'd they even spawn? I never can figure out where they spawn in the galaxy. They're just suddenly there. So where are the little things? Hello, Swarmlings. I don't think you're the group that are spawned in, because there should be more than just two, but sure. It is just missiles, but they're actually quick. Unlike the other Scourge forces, they're decently quick. Good evasion. I mean, would that be a good tactic? Swarmling spam? How is there always more? Okay, so it's going to be one of those rare occasions where I'll use console commands. I want the contingency here now. So, if I'm correct, it's this. There we go. At least one synthetic. So it's Event Crisis 2000. That is to spawn in the contingency. At least one of these synthetic must have must have completed the long journey to the source of the ghost signal, because we are registering a sudden and massive increase in the signal strength. The surge was accompanied by a transmission fragment that has been intercepted and decoded by our communication specialists. Hello, contingency, the vile machine empire. Oh yeah, there was no other machine empires this time around, was there? Yeah, I would have gone straight to war with them, because glory to the organics and all that. Okay, I'm very worried about where the sterilization hubs are going to be. I've been trying to build gateways as much as I can. Influence has been the limiting factor, but I do have quite a few. There's one currently being built up here as well. So we have one here, we have one here. This area is a bit of a blind spot. We have one here. None over here that I was tempted to. We have one over here and one down all the way here. So yeah, quite a few blind spots, really. A few more than I originally thought. I'm building one right now. But that's it. So, let's see what happens. Naturally near a blind spot. Okay, so the first one is all the way over here. Their forces are 4 million and 10 million in terms of their garrison here. So actually, we're not too far off power-wise. Oh good, one of our Dyson spheres has been created. As you can probably see, our alloys now are going kind of through the roof. Most of our worlds are kind of finishing off now. So I'm just focusing on macro engineering sites, the odd Dyson sphere to keep our energy running. I'm even building a new orchid site because food is now becoming difficult to maintain when you're building this many things, all made out of flesh. I wonder where the next one's going to be. Do I start moving there or do I wait? Honestly, this territory here, despite being quite a few worlds... Oh, there's a gateway. Yeah, I mean, this is the only area I really need to protect. So, we can wait a while for that one. We can see the contingencies pattern first. When they split up a bit. Okay, this one, obviously, immediate danger for us. We're going to start moving as soon as we see... We can start moving now, or wait a little bit longer, just to see where the others spawn. I think I'll wait a little bit longer.
Speak.
Third machine world, all the way over here. quite far away at least. That one, I don't think we really need to worry about too much for quite some time. Asteroid artillery. Wow, you made asteroid artillery? That's really cool. Not very strong though, don't even really upgraded it, but still. You're all doomed, but I don't think there's any wormholes or anything dangerous around here for a while, so I'll be leaving that. There is a gateway, however. Enemy normal fleet, I really don't care about you right now, but sure. Last one, come on, where are you going to be? Oh, you're going to be laggy, that's where you're going to be. You are, oh, the bottom of our territory. So it's between that one and this one. Both of them are by the outskirts. Weirdly enough, almost all of my power, well, it's not that weird, but almost all of my power is consolidated here. I should really build the ring world over here as well. So I guess this one's probably the most dangerous to us, though this one's going to immediately attack us more. This whole area is going to be a real problem. It'd be easier to get to there. I think probably skip. Do I stick together completely? We could half our forces. We do have a lot of forces to throw around right now. But let's have a quick look, see at their stats. So they are more shields and armor than hull. That's kind of annoying for me since I'm not good against shields. Well, the Scourge are, but the Scourge is going to be melted by their anti-armor weaponry. It's really annoying how these groups keep on forming. You can't separate them because they keep on just automatically joining each other. I think maybe half and half. Half up here just to defend this, and then half down here to start cleaning up, because otherwise this whole area is going to be lost. This one, thankfully, is the only one we can just ignore completely. So, Group 1 is going to be Dragon, 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 Dragon. I'll sort out the admirals and stuff and the formation a little bit in a second. And then do I send any Scourge with these dragons? I mean, I really should do, shouldn't I? And some of the space whales. Where are the space? There they are. Okay, 2 of the full group of space whales. The Wraiths can go with you. I'm making some of the brood queens now, just for fun. So let's go with that. Okay, so that's group 1. They can defend here. Oh, it's so cool to see them all move out. So many. Don't think I quite sent half there, did I? Well, we'll see what happens to them, I guess. Then the rest, because you are going to be on the offensive, so I guess it makes more sense that I send more this way. You are actively going to try and clear out that other group. So get to here for now, then we'll see. Thankfully, there's a good choke point. You move back. It's so weird. I've never had a Galactic custodian during one of these events, other than me. Honourable members of the Galactic community, fellow sapiens, this is an exceedingly dark time for our galaxy. The existential threat we face is without precedent. To survive the coming onslaught, we must fight like there is no tomorrow, for in truth, that may be the case. When you elected us as your Galactic custodians, we swore an oath to defend our galaxy, and we will do everything in our power to uphold that promise, blah blah blah. We don't really care about your promises, I'm afraid. Can we end this war, though? That'd be nice.
The others speak.
We're about to really increase our income because a lot of these are going to die.
Our construction is complete.
So I guess probably might want Ether Drag, so we are going to lose a lot of Scourge. I am starting to think that maybe the Swarm Queens are better than I originally thought, because missiles and the swarms all at a decent range as well. They're going to do a lot of damage before they go down, hopefully, just by firing off all these Scourge missiles. Plus, there's less of them, so it's easier to figure out who's going where, which is pretty nice.
Crushing a hostile hive. Our hive is under attack.
Oh god, we are so bad versus shields. That's mostly only the dragons, though. Here comes the swarms. Wow, yeah, the dragons are going to have some serious problems. The Strikecraft, however, already knocked out the armor. Now devouring the hull points. Yeah, these forces are really weak. Much weaker than their stats would indicate. Oh, we are going to have to just use overwhelming numbers. Look at that. That was horrendous. Okay, so that's a really bad indicator to how this is going to go. Now, thankfully, we can make ridiculous numbers of forces very, very quickly. But that's how we have to see it. I'm used to battleships and everything. We don't have those. We have the equivalent of corvettes. Even the big boys. So, yeah. I'm also making some swarmlings now because we can make them at a ludicrous rate. Each of these actually makes 10 at a time. They're very weak, but there's going to be absolutely loads of them, and that's going to be very difficult to mow down. Just so many of them. Yeah, it's sure they'll be dead in one hit each, but when you're making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them at a time, sheer number. That's the method here. Okay, you just protect that. I was gonna run these guys into the 10 mil and see what happens, but oof, after seeing that. Maybe we just need more of the matriarchs. The matriarchs are the only ones which can take out shields. The dragons are good versus armor and hull, but they didn't even get through the shield then. They actually did practically nothing versus that station. I was very wrong about what we should spawn. Scourge. Wiles.
Technology conceived.
Through the power of stupidity, we attack their main forces. God, the Scourge are so slow. Even when they're all stacked up on the border there, they're just... Oh, that's melting through everything. At least we have some of the Wiles there actually hurting the shields. The dragons can take a few hits though, which the Scourge can't. What? Wow. We are in trouble. It's like, I expected to lose that, don't get me wrong, but I thought I'd take out a few more. The dragons aren't good. The dragons are just not good in this fight. So that's the other thing. I have now learnt my lesson. From now on, I'll make sure the dragons follow the Scourge, rather than having them all at the border and then sending them through together. That doesn't work. Now, this attack here, that was all the matriarchs at once. It does do something to the shield at least, that long-range attack. Remember, there's not many of them. It does visibly hurt the shields quite a bit. So I think matriarchs and then mass Scourge forces, either the Swarmers or the Broodmother / Queens. I mean, that is horrifying, right? Look at that. I want to see how much damage each of the different attacks actually does in this fight. The fact that the armor's still up means that... Yeah, well, actually... So what damaged the hull? Strikers. Swarm Strikers. The Swarm Strikers did all the hull damage. So it was the, Swarm... The Strike Craft. To armor, that was if the... Yeah, because there's a little bit of penetration, isn't it, with the, Strikers. Against shields... Our scientists can make no sense of these. Dragons were not very good at all, really. They technically did nothing because the hull damage is what killed it, so that was all the strikers. That was all these beautiful strike craft. But the Scourge are too vulnerable to be used on their own. Yeah, 66% armor penetration. So we need something to tank them, so that could be the dragons. The dragons can take a few hits. Or swarms of the smaller Scourge. I played this terribly. I played this utterly dreadfully. It's gonna cost me. Guaranteed. So we do want to make dragons then. Just for tanks? On the upside, look how much resource I'm now producing. Now we've lost half our fleet. So a surprisingly high amount of the dragons managed to FTL jump out of that last fight where we lost pretty much everything. So this time, I'm going to try and be a little bit smarter about it, because what we had was the dragons, which could do loads of damage to armor and hull, and then other units which could bypass shields, which means the dragons spent all that time just hitting the shields and doing absolutely nothing despite being our big hitters. So, we've mixed in some of the swarmers. They're going to draw a lot of the fire as well, because they don't have unlimited shots, and we can have almost unlimited numbers, so that should be good straight away. But they also have the kinetic blast, which does damage versus shields, and quite a lot of it. In addition, we have some of the queens, because they also use missiles, which do a lot of damage to the armor, so until that breaks out, that'll be good. I'm trying to mix in some of the teriyaki, I'll always call them that, the teriyaki chicken matriarchs, so they should be able to break shields as well for the dragons. The dragons, though, mostly are just going to be there to absorb some of the hits. They have the most health by a long shot, and they can survive quite a few hits, as we've now seen. So, distraction swarmers, distraction dragons, loads of damage from the queens in the form of their missiles and their strikecraft, and then I'll have some broodmothers as well. The matriarchs can help with the shields, and then we have all the rest over here, which is still a mixed bag of pretty much everything. And I'm going to combine all the forces here, because what I'm going to just try and focus on doing is taking out one of the worlds. As soon as one of the worlds is down, that means their unit production is vastly diminished. So if we can just clear this, we might be okay. This is a worry, however. They are going to break through here, so we have to do this quickly, then turn our attention to this world, then I don't even know. This is actually going to be really difficult. That's a lot of numbers. That fleet there was heading towards our main territory, so I've amassed everything here, but seemingly it's turned around. But still, now we're all here, because how slow we are, maybe it'd be best to go on the offensive. I don't think we could take out the 10 mil fleet defending one of the worlds, though, yet, which is insane considering how much we've got. But I guess there's the thing, isn't it? We can replenish our forces faster than they can. A single enemy fleet destroyed is a big win for us, even if it destroys 8,000 fleet power. These things are very quick, and I'm about to upgrade them all again, so the big vats can make things very quickly. I'm also improving every single year. I'm still micromanaging a lot of our construction vessels to make loads of the macro engineering sides. This is giving us more engineering research, because although we'd only have 30k tech, that's almost all engineering right now. And that's going to keep on increasing, so that increases along with plus 2% armor each and every time. Doesn't sound like much, but with how many we have, that will eventually stack up to a big deal, especially for our more tanky things like the matriarchs and the dragons. How did... They were all following a slower one. I don't even know how they managed to get through first that time. They're all by the edge. They're all following this one I highlighted. Okay. Well, the dragon's going to go down again. They can take a fair few hits, and they do have point defense, so at least they are acting decently there. Incoming all the kinetic blasts. Incoming the waves upon waves of strike. Also, the animation the whales do when they're attacking is so funny. Oh, the game is crawling. This time the strikecraft have all been released, though, as long as I don't do something really stupid, which they do tend to do, to be fair. But I think we might win this one. The dragons are still up. The dragons are tanking really well. I don't even know what some of these attacks are. Look, what are those? These ones. And they're through the dragons. Strikecraft are still being released. They still haven't fully released all the strikecraft yet. It seems like it's been a while, but bear in mind how slow the game's running now. It's just been seconds. Now pause it for a second. Okay, they are focusing almost completely on the enemy fleet, which is good. And it is going down. Our Wraith's just kind of floating along the outsides, occasionally shooting. You can only tell where the enemy are based on where the strikecraft are. Apparently they're here. Where are they? I can't even see their health number. didn't destroy them, did we? No, look, I see one there. There they are. Though I can't see how much of them are left. These are some weird fights, aren't they? Those are the missiles? Those are the large missiles? They must be, right? Okay, 1 point... Okay, I can actually see them now. Now they've thinned out my numbers a bit more. 1.3 mil, they're almost all gone. These are some of the weirdest fights ever, and I am so in love with it. This may be one of my favourite endgame crises I've fought in ages. Just such a weird thing. Just, we are countered by them, but we also can do damage. It's just so fun. We're actually going to do a lot better versus these cores because they're mostly just hull, so we're pretty neutral versus them. It's the shields, it really is. I guess now I'm focusing more on missiles. Hopefully that's less of an issue. Again, I'll have to check the stats afterwards. We're going to take out our very first sterilization hub. I can't really see the attacks from the Scourge, just assume they're doing something. There we are. Is that this fight? Oh, lag. Okay, so this is everything. Damage to shields. As expected. Oh, the acid blast. Well done to the little swarms. Oh, look how much I've lost, though. I wish there was more of like a total lost between all of them. I mean, I'm still at 9,000 fleet size. I'm very surprised by that. We didn't lose anywhere near as many as I thought. I guess just when you got so many. I mean, I lost like over... I think I lost like 2,000, but to me it's like, oh, it's nothing. Lots of swarmlings down, but not all of them. Okay, so the big ones, though. Large Scourge missiles coming in at second. Strikers, of course, being first, though. Dragon's Breath way down, but that's not really their purpose. Damage to armor, that was, however, the missiles, they obliterated them, which allowed all the rest to go through. I do think the Queens might be the better one, even though I really didn't think they were that good when we first saw them. I think the combination of the swarms and that is kind of perfect. Now, I don't actually know where the other fleet is currently over here. I think it went through this wormhole. So I think we're actually safe right now just to leave a couple of fleets here just to bombard the world and just send the rest of the fleets back to a defensive position. And make more Queens. Queens and Dragons, I think, might actually be the combo. Dragons to tank, Queens to do the bulk of the work. Dragons and Matriarchs are a decent combo because it takes out the shields and then the Dragons do their work. I think just my combos are really bad early on, and also I massively underestimated how weak these units are without really swarming them up. Also, the Queens are the grossest things. Unlike my little dragons. Most of the dragons survived, just outright survived. I didn't even notice that. Need to reform some of the fleets, though. Some of them have been really badly damaged. Can I just get some basic Scourge groups, please? Like you two. And you. I think that would be maximum damage, but just in case. Let's just get some of the broken fleets. Oof, I mean, it did lose quite a few, though, despite everything I was saying. That should be maximum damage to the hub. We at least do have the Armageddon bombardment stance, so that shouldn't be too long to get to 50%, which I think is when it dies. So I haven't really looked at the enemy's weapons because there's not much we can do about it. We're only going to be able to summon in the organic ones. They're always going to be armor and hull. That's just what we have. But I didn't realise just how bad it was. So, Seeker drones. So that's their strike craft. That'll be good versus... Well, actually, that's the only one which is going to be ignoring shields, but still probably bonus damage to armor. Then it's neutron launchers, plasma cannons, gamma lasers, particle lances. This is all anti-armor, anti-hull stuff. Every last thing. I thought it was a bit more mixed, but no. It also means we need to have the dragons. The dragons have to have point defense and good point defense. So that will take out the Seeker drones. So here's something I didn't notice before. This station has been randomly taken by the contingency at some point. Oh, that looks so much cooler, and there's only a few of them. Yeah, I fully expected to lose this fight, which might not happen here, but how cool does that look? With that many queens. Just don't see that normally. So that's definitely the large missiles then. Oh, that's beautiful. What a pretty fight. Now, for whatever reason, they didn't move out, which is good, because I would have literally been overwhelmed by them. But, yeah. Let me fuse them. Thank you. I know there's a hotkey, but I always forget that one. Requires exploration. What? Oh! Can the queens literally... Really, the Scourge can't do that? I mean, our construction vehicles can. And our normal forces can, but apparently not the Scourge. Okay. Can Scourges just not use wormholes? Scourges... The Scourge use wormholes in the actual crisis, right? So there's queens, and this time the warriors, which are large Scourge missiles. So where does that go, then? They do that all the time, though, the Scourge. They like to expand their borders in like little bits. It's not a Scourge. They continuously like to expand their borders in little bits. Yeah, see, this is the edge, and then they've gone back and started to expand again outwardly like that. Oof, that is looking bad. At least one world's going down. So is that max damage then? No, that's only 0. Wow, you must have really low bombardment values. Do you have any normal ships? I might need to quickly make just some menacing corvettes just to run back there and help out. Should have checked that, but okay, that's fine. Still, that hub's going down. This whole section's going to be a lot safer. Though it does have a wormhole there. That's fine. The next target, then we'll have to try and clean up this area and go for this hub. Then move on from there. Or we could just go through that wormhole. I mean, it's close to that hub there, so we can clear this space instead. Maybe. Well, what are you doing? Oh, whoopsie daisy. Forgot I had on all the bonuses. That was draining all my resources. Now, what are you going to do? Okay, sure, you just stay there. That's fine by me, obviously. Regrouping our forces. Almost a 300k health now per dragon. Works better this time. Make sure to follow the slowest one possible with the mix of everything in the group. And they all actually appear together with the dragons as well. Don't know if that's actually the best thing to do though, because with the dragons ahead, it does draw a lot more of the fire, but this way, the damage is being dealt faster with the Scourge. Don't really know. I mean, it worked out well last time, but we did also have a lot of losses. It feels so slow, but the damage is very high. Good job, the machines. They'll probably be blinded by the sheer light of those attacks to begin with. The actual explosions from the missiles are really cool when you actually get to see them. Okay, well, this is an obvious victory. For us, most of the strike craft aren't even out yet. Hasn't really thinned out our numbers too much. All the dragons are still alive, which is the main thing. So this is won the 400k, nice and down. Glory to the swarm. Okay, so take out this, then it's just one more station, then the big 10k fight again. Oh, 2 more stations and the big 10k. I think I've got enough to win. Got less than last time, just because of losses on the way, but yeah. We do have backup if we want it, but I'm probably better off just getting ready for the next attack, since they're about to break through here. We don't have any gateways. Even that's a long distance for how slow the Scourge is. Well, that's a problem we'll face when it arrives. Yet another intensive energy spike has been detected in a previously uncharted system. The energy levels are equivalent to those we registered when the contingency activated its machine worlds, but the energy signature itself appears different. Could this signify the appearance of some kind of new contingency weapon system? The Cybrex. This is the mud, right? Or have I just never seen this event? The Cybrex Remnant. We are the Cybrex. For several 100,000 cycles we have remained hidden and uninvolved in galactic affairs. However, we have been monitoring the present situation with the machine entity you know as the contingency and can no longer remain impartial observers. To protect the sapient beings of the galaxy, we are commencing active military operations against the contingency. Do not be alarmed by the passage of our fleets. You will not be harmed. Who are you? We are the Cybrex. Lots of cycles ago, we were engaged in a war against the previous generation of galactic civilization. We had classified all sapient organics as a threat and thought to violently dismantle them. To our regret, we were winning the war. Trillions of sapient beings were being destroyed and entire civilizations exterminated before we realized the totality of our error. The adjustment followed and our goals were realigned. The war was abandoned. Sometime after we abandoned the war, the first of our hidden habitats, Cybrex Alpha, was discovered by a scout ship crewed by organics. We knew that a military expedition would soon follow, but as the system was being closely monitored, we could not evacuate. A consensus was reached. Cybrex Alpha would be sacrificed so that the rest of our species could remain hidden. We had sworn to never again visit violence upon organics. That isn't to say we can't have some violence against you. Where are you? Interesting. Can you please explore that for a second? You're annoyingly far away for us, but you're not particularly strong. Oh, we have scarier things to deal with. Every time I go to do something, then everything finishes. Admittedly, I'm doing quite a few of these. I almost have plus 200% armor now, just from the macro engineering sites. Anyway, this is revenge. This was the first one which actually took out the huge fleet. Which I shouldn't have split for, I now realise. I may have actually had a small chance if I didn't split the forces into two, thinking that, oh, we'll be fine, even though we're being hard countered. But still. Ooh, dragons. And again, I tried to get them all through at the same time. I even moved the dragons back. It seems like it's just very difficult for that to happen. I wonder if this one's more difficult just because it's a bigger system, so I have to run further in. For once, we don't really get all that many advantages from starting fights far away. In fact, probably the opposite. Well, I suppose it does give more time for the strike craft to be released, which is all of our damage. Please don't kill all the dragons. I'd like some dragons left. It really is impossible to tell what's going on. All I know is these things are slowly moving this way, and we're slowly moving this way, and there is so many strike craft I can't see what's going on. But I'm okay with that. Really, the Navy capacity is the easiest way to tell how much we're losing when it eventually updates. Oh, I did forget to turn on the bonuses, so we don't have the extra armor, we don't have the extra kinetic damage, and we don't have extra explosive damage. Apparently, though, we didn't need it, so that's always good. Well, this is pretty much guaranteed to be a victory now. All we need to do is remove the core and the base, and then this will be the third hub down. Then just the fourth to go, and then we can fight the big boss. I think I've now officially gone through a phase of thinking that every single different unit is actually better. So right now what I'm looking at is the tiny little swarmlings. Because of their high evasion chance, and apparently the contingency not being that well equipped to deal with that, they just don't take all that much damage. Especially for the sheer lack of health they have. 500 hull. 3,000 armor. They die maybe even to point defense. But there they were, tanking all the damage there, because some of my forces are heading over here for some reason. No idea why. Sure, you're on our side now, but ultimately, we don't trust you. Now, you don't appear to actually have population on your worlds, which is interesting, so I don't quite know how I'm meant to take you out fully. But I'm assuming it's just a matter of bombardment. Maybe. The fall of the Zybrex. The Cybrex, rather. Or the Zybrex now, changing the X for a Z or a Z. So it turns out it was just good old-fashioned bombardment. Getting people to stop helping you apparently can be achieved via excessive bombardment. I was waiting for that to happen, so we've kind of built way too many fleets now, and yeah, my energy reserves are looking pretty bad. You know what, actually, yeah, sell everything we've got right now every month just to stabilize that, and you guys can go and attack. Just go, I don't care what order you attack, you'll win. It's fine. Actually, a bit of a problem there, spawning right next to the core like that as well means our attacks are going to be split, as is perfectly demonstrated there by the Dragon's Breath. On the upside though, as the fleets vanish, we are going to spend less per month, so all of our money problems are going away. It's insane how much damage the contingency does. Each of these dragons now has, I think, over 300,000 armor and like 100,000 hull. How much is it? Let me see. Hello, dragons. 150,000 hull and almost 400,000 armor. Now, admittedly, the contingency do bonus damage versus these, but even so. As per usual, though, the sheer number will save the day here. I like how some of the dragons' attacks seem to come from like, random directions. There could just be them missing. I know that some of the Leviathans do kind of attack like that, almost like from the sun. Because it's a bit weird and glitchy. Just this traffic jam of queens. Come on, hurry up. Okay, only 1.6 mil fleet power left. That's about to fade. So now focus on the core and the station, which means they're done. Well, the contingency's heart has been exposed, so here it is, the master core. As you can see, it's pretty darn scary. Now, thankfully for us though, this time its shields aren't a large percentage of its overall health. Most of its health is just in its hull, and in fact its armor is equal to its shields this time, which means our dragons are going to be far more effective, and thankfully all the other Scourge forces, despite being shield ignoring or shield destroying, are still pretty happy just to go through hull. What a lovely system, soon to be destroyed. If we had any kindness in us, we'd probably have been protecting these other empires, but the contingency has taken over probably about as much space as we have. So the first group is getting there now, the second group is still escaping from the contingency. They'd have built stations on almost every single one of these systems, and I had to fight through a fleet, which ended up with me losing a couple of my fleets. Oh, and I've accidentally abandoned a set of swarm queens. Well, poop. I'll be fine. They'll be fine. Oh, come on. How is it so difficult to get you to go the way I want you to? Thank you. Once we take out this anyway, all the contingency forces will turn off, so it's not too bad. We could just send what we've already got without having to wait. I mean, it's still a lot of forces. I do have quite a few dragons waiting as well. So, I ended up making the Penrose... oh, God, when did the governor die? I ended up making the Penrose Ringworld, and that was so good for food. Very weird using a Penrose Ringworld for food, but yep, there we are. This one, for instance, is producing 2.5k a month. And still space for loads more. I didn't realize just how many districts this allows. So a lot of our population have been moving here now, as you can well imagine. I've also allowed migration now of all species. That's why I've not been too concerned about the unemployment on our worlds, because there's basically like 1 or 2 unemployed on each world. Every time they make a new one, they tend to move off in that time. Ooh. Because even owned populations can move with the processing facilities. Okay, yeah, we really need to get this destroyed. Is that enough? And I think it is. Plus, by the time the other fleet get back, we'll have made more dragons. That's all I've been making, just for fun. Is that enough? I don't know. It looks like a lot of numbers, but it's hard to tell sometimes. Well, even if it isn't, we'll do some damage. Oh, these things do not hurt back. Just don't hurt very much, do they? Don't hurt back. Don't fire back very much, is what I was meant to say. All those dragon shots. Yeah, with the lower shields, the dragons are brutal. I think... don't really care. I think against things like the Scourge, weirdly, making the Scourge and the dragons would have been way more effective. The Scourge do counter the Scourge, which is quite funny. Well, the dragons certainly do anyway. Oh, he doesn't stand a chance. He just doesn't have enough shots. We have too many numbers. Even if we were doing a fraction of the damage we're doing, just there's so many of us without sufficient amount of shots per second. I love watching the missiles hit the station. I imagine that YouTube's processing right now is making us a bit blurry. And the Master Core is about to go down. Yeah, it's just hull now. The Dragonfire is obliterating it. Okay, yep, can all of you please go and bombard that? Please with the Armageddon stance. That would be fantastic. And so, all machine threats have been completely removed. What does the contingency thing do again? Mechanical pop assembly speed. Great. Megastructure build speed plus 300%. Now that's actually really cool, but yeah, so that doesn't apply to my lovely normal pops, does it now? Okay, so with that, I am going to be calling the video here. This has now officially been the longest full playthrough to date in terms of recording time and in terms of just sheer length of recording per day. I think I've got like 60, 70 hours of footage, maybe. Honestly, maybe a little bit less than that, but it certainly looks like that when I was looking at the folders earlier. And it has been almost 2 weeks. Admittedly, I haven't been recording as much per day as I have done in some of the other full playthroughs, because it was my birthday and a few other things, and lots to sort out. But yeah, this was so much fun. Less of a challenge with the mid-game crisis than I thought, more of a challenge with the end-game crisis. Ridiculously fun. I can't believe the systems are in Stellaris, even in a mod. It didn't even feel like Stellaris at points. I love this full playthrough. But I am going to call it here. It's currently 4 AM. I wasn't planning on recording all night today. I thought I'd be finished by midnight. I really hope you've enjoyed. If you have, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that full playthroughs of Stellaris are a series you wish to see continue in the future. And this will probably be the last full playthrough now until the DLC hits on the 12th, 14th, in early mid-May, unless there's some demand for some other mods. I may do a small one-off video on the other mid-game crisis I've not touched yet in Gigastructures, or perhaps one of the other mods that's been suggested, but probably not full playthrough till then, because I need a break. As much as I love them, I need a break. Thank you for watching, have a lovely day, do take care, and until next time, remember, organic supremacy is the only way forwards. That wasn't even my entire fleet. How many dragons do I have before I go? One last thing, how many oh, lots. Lots. I have lots. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.